Welcome back to 1010's podcast with Michael and Adam and Robbie. And we got Thomas with us again today.
Hello.
Because we went to PRI.
We did.
Thomas went with us.
Thomas did go with us.
It's quite the 24 hours.
Robbie almost died. He made a pro drifter very angry, I think, from what we understand.
He definitely hates me forever. We'll talk about it later.
We'll talk more about that later. But Robbie, you said you had a project update.
Oh, yeah.
We haven't done projects in a long time.
It's been way too long. Well, since it's off season, I've been diving into the 240, and I wrecked it. Well, not wrecked it, but I heard the body kit when I was doing the drifting event, and I finally got around to fixing that. So I redid all the fiberglass work on the side skirt. Basically had the whole car pulled apart, like the doors off, the hood. The hood's back on. That's coming right back off. And then teach myself how to rap, and I've learned...
Freestyle or...
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
that was a side note you just threw in there a little bit.
Like
battle?
Battle rap?
While I'm working on the car, I'm listening to a lot of hip-hop.
A lot of hip-hop.
Like,
you have one of those journals you carry around with you, you write little lyrics
Yeah. Like when I'm riding the bus, I just sit down.
You specifically get a bus ticket so you can sit there in the back with your headphones on.
I don't need it. I just go downtown. And
it's more for the look. You put a hoodie on.
Yeah, if I have the hood up and I'm rolling through the east side and just like...
Double XL hoodie.
Does Thomas film you or...
No, that's later.
You guys putting together a documentary.
That's for the music video.
Music video. Yeah, get a really wide lens, put it on the ground. You like spit your rhymes out of the ground.
I gotta point at it and be angry.
There's girls in the background with bikinis for no reason.
You have that, yeah.
People. There's a guy in the back that's completely blitzed. That's just like pouring Hennessy on the ground for no reason whatsoever. Yeah.
Well, I don't drink it, but I'll pour it on the ground.
Donuts and shit.
No. That's
Tokyo
Drifts. That's
he's
not my
90s,
style.
He's
you
like
could be like a Teriyaki Boys.
No.
Hip-hop.
That's 2000s hip hop. I'm 90s hip hop.
He's 90s hip hop. He's before that. I think J Rock from Trailer Park Boys. That's where he's at.
Beastie Boys, maybe.
I fucking hate the Beastie Boys.
Me too. We just triggered someone for sure.
Oh yeah.
But when Beastie Boys comes on, I will change the radio station. I hate them that much.
Usually, yeah.
You know what? For the longest time, I really wanted to like the Beastie Boys because they were very popular.
No,
they were, but I can't do it.
And it's not my style.
No, I'm not for me.
Thomas, you like the Beastie Boys?
They're in a lot of movie trailers.
Yep.
Are you saying they're sellouts?
No, they're too big.
Oh, okay. It's too mainstream for Thomas.
Too mainstream.
Okay.
Yeah, keep it underground like my music. I got it.
Mom's spaghetti.
For sure. So what were you saying about bodywork and raps and stuff?
Yeah, so I'm teaching myself how to rap, and because I'm really dumb, I decided to pick obviously I picked a cheap rap because if I screw it up and I throw the whole thing away, it's not the end of the world.
Yep.
Let's be real here, Robbie. It could have been your 10th rap, and you still would have done it cheaply.
No, not necessarily. Like if I knew what I was doing, I was comfortable with rapping, and I felt like this was it. My paint job's perfect under it. Like it's gonna be a flawless thing. It's a show car. I have a hard time with it because I don't have the money, but I would really want to have the $3,000 APA wrap because that's my dream color.
Wait a second, you spent $3,000 on just rap?
Yeah, APA, APA, that's the company. They make just these crazy high-end wraps. I think it's out of Italy.
That stuff must like stretch.
It basically goes on by itself.
All the bubbles come out. There's some of that stuff that's got some sort of like micro perforation in it or something like that makes getting the bubbles out easier. I mean, there's a reason you spend shitloads of money on wrap because it makes your life a lot easier.
Yep. So instead of spending $3,000, I spent like $350. So, but it's a similar color. So I'm teaching myself how to do that. But I've learned real quickly that you don't stretch chrome because it looks like shit.
Oh, it distorts it.
Yep.
That sucks.
So don't do that.
So to try to stretch it on a mirror or something.
No, I stretched it on the trunk a little bit around the corners.
But no dice on that.
No, I need tack reducer so I can reposition it a lot easier. And
That's a thing?
Yeah, and I didn't have that for the trunk.
It's not Windex?
No.
Okay.
No, it's like a Vivid Vinyl makes a tack reducer. I'm going to use that.
Interesting.
So chrome you just kind of lay flat, which from what my understanding is.
And you just hope that you don't have to
don't stretch it too much.
Wrap anything too hard. You don't have any compound corners.
You're like with the bumper and stuff, I'm going to have to do different overlays and stuff, like around the contours, like where the grilled stuff goes.
Okay.
Instead of just doing one piece and just stretching it in there, like I would if it was just regular,
you're gonna have
like
to
a regular red color.
You're gonna have to put a seam in it.
Yeah.
Weird. Okay.
So, just stuff I'm learning as I screw things up. So
Are you gonna have enough?
Yeah. Well, I had enough to do the entire car and the hood, but now I'm not gonna do the hood. I don't think because I'm gonna get a carbon fiber hood, so that'll save me wrapping time.
Nice.
And an extra wrap for if I want to go redo things like the trunk. I mean, to me, I know there's a bunch of flaws, but at the same time, it's a track car, not show car. So at the end of the day, it might not be worth my time. So I got the trunk wrapped, bodywork's mostly done, and then I also started on my fender flares. And then I bought those. Some guy out of Florida makes these fiberglass fender flares, and they're supposedly for the 93 era 240SX.
Is that like S13 then?
Yeah, so it's not even mine, but it was the diameter was close enough. I'm like, well, even if I just use it as a mold to create my own fiberglass fender flares off of it, that's really all I was going after.
But they're fiberglass, not poly.
Yep, they're fiberglass.
You can't really stretch them then.
No. So if I want to add to it or create from it, that was my goal. I wanted fiberglass so I could work with it. Basically, I just put them up there, duct taped it to the car where I thought it looked good, and then hacked it off with the Dremel. And then now I'm just kind of sanding it to get the look I want. It looks pretty good for now, I guess.
You're going to wrap those separately and then...
Yep, rivet them on.
Okay.
Should be pretty sweet.
Yeah, a lot of body work this year. Haven't done that in a long time. But yeah, so Josh came down and we cut the bumper off, and he took a regular hacksaw blade to cut the glue from where the back of the bumper touches the taillight area. So it's cut straight down. Then used a Dremel to cut all the way across. And had somebody go online and had the same body kit and measured it out for us. He was like, yeah, it's from the top. You go 7 inches down and then go all the way across, which is like 14 inches. All right, so you cut it, and we cut it there, which is kind of perfect because it was about an inch or two above the curve where I molded it in. It's like, all right, that works. So we cut it. No, that's not even close to where I was supposed to. So I have a body line on the 240 that's not going to match another 240. So it's at least...
You'll never notice that, though.
But if somebody has a 240, like, why is his body line so fucking tall? Like
it is.
It's at least 2 inches higher. Well, there is no body line there normally, but now there's a nice body line that goes into the bumper. But it fell right off. I mean, he cut it across, popped it off.
To the untrained eye, you wouldn't realize this isn't right. Like if I went and looked at it, I would be. No, it would seem fine to me.
Yeah, like there's when the bumper came off with like minimal damage, and I just realized how bad the bodywork was and why we did it this way in the first place. Because whoever fixed this before I bought it, when it was originally salvaged, instead of fixing the metalwork or replacing the rear quarter, just put like 3 pounds of Bondo in it. So it's horrible. So like when I pulled the bumper off to fix my the body filler that's under the bumper that's going to get covered that I painted black, I just took a grinder to it and just ground it all down and then painted it black. So now I just got to do a little bit of body work to clean up how the bumper looks, get that attached to it like all rigid like, and then fender flares. And then I can do my roll bar and my carbon fiber head.
Should we do the PRI recap?
Am I going to do an opener?
Yeah, what the heck,
Oh,
man?
yeah, we got to do an opener.
Apparently.
No, I'm totally cutting you out of the show. No, I'm just kidding. Let's do an opener, and this week it is presented by Factor Fabrication.
So I'm going to talk about traffic this week. Yep, traffic and specifically intersections, because I've got a couple of doozies local to us. So apparently in the state of Iowa, we've decided that on-ramps and off-ramps to get onto interstates, it's a good idea to make everybody drive on the wrong side of the road. Yeah. So you know that Grand Prairie Parkway?
Yep, by my old place.
Our old place. So what you do is they have an X on both sides of the interstate, and you cross to the wrong side of the road, and then you can either merge onto the interstate or cross back again to continue on the road that you are on.
So there's literally a hole in space and time where you go to
right-hand drive,
and then you go back to left-hand drive. Are you aware of this, Thomas? You're giving us a really weird look.
I was trying to look at what was on Robbie's computer.
Oh, okay.
And
focus on the show, man.
Listening. What about right-hand drive?
So it gets
JDM real quick?
It goes real quick JDM, and then it goes back. Yeah. Haven't you been over to Waukee? You know that new interchange in Waukee?
They put a new...
So you get on the wrong side of the road to get on the interstate.
Yeah.
So you cross over. There's an intersection with a light. You're on the right-hand side of the road, and all of a sudden the lanes flip.
Is that kind of like Jordan Creek?
No, it's
not at all.
It basically, there's stoplights on either side, so it stops the traffic before it goes onto the bridge, and then it switches sides. So in order for you to get from, say you're going south, and you want to merge left onto the interstate, it does a crisscross on the bridge.
You switch over to the left-hand side of the road.
Why?
So not only is this confusing for sober people, but I can only imagine it's terrifying if you're drunk.
It might be a sobriety test in itself.
But guess where the next one's getting built? Take a stab.
Ames?
No.
Oh.
First Street in Ankeny. One of the busiest on and off ramp exchanges in the city.
That'll go really well.
To get onto the interstate.
It's called the Diverging Diamond.
There you go.
Oh,
the
yeah,
Diverging Diamond.
They had to use more than 3 colors. It's too complicated.
They're going to put that in one of the busiest intersections in the greater Des Moines metro area.
What's wrong with it now?
Well, apparently it's not efficient enough, and they claim that this has some level higher percentage efficiency.
So they're going to put it down for like 2 years and then make it really complicated, then make it better.
I don't know.
No, I think there is mathematical reason that this is actually a more efficient way.
I think they're calculating that if you don't have to cross traffic to turn onto the interstate, there's some sort of flow efficiency there. Or if you don't have to turn at a right angle, maybe, because once you've crossed over onto the left-hand side of the road, then your on-ramp is a banked.
Does this make it easy for autonomy?
I think it's also a bit safer because instead of just one lane of traffic trying to cross the oncoming traffic to get onto the interstate, everybody's crossing everybody in a more controlled manner.
And oncoming traffic has a red light.
Right. It's a more controlled situation for safety reasons.
Okay.
I think.
For better or worse. Okay.
So I think it's going to be a real shit show for a while. Until people can figure it out.
It was super weird the first time I did it, but once you do it, it's
when we went for a ride in Lucas's R32,
it was great.
Like forever ago, we went on that exit specifically so that we could be on the correct side for at least a short period of time, because that's right-hand drive. So for a little while, Lucas got to feel what it was like to drive his JDM car in Japan. Wow! And for that reason alone, I'm okay with the intersection, but maybe not there.
Okay. According to divergingdiamond.com/benefits.
Wow.
Fewer conflict points. So for a diverting diamond, there's 14 conflict points, whereas a conventional has 26.
So I assume a conflict point is an accident point?
Yeah.
Potential accident point?
Yep.
We should note that the one in Waukee is not in a pedestrian area of any kind.
It's also like a very low traffic because there's...
Yeah.
I think in 10 years' time, that's going to be the heart of the city, but right now, there's nothing out there.
Yeah,
No.
They're planning ahead on that one.
Right.
So does it show any pictures of conflict points?
I don't have that in front of me.
Okay. I was curious how exactly they defined these conflict points.
It says the pedestrian crossings are shorter. There's better sight distance at turns. There's virtually no driver confusion.
I don't know that I agree with that.
Disagree, because I had a brief panic attack when I did the one in Waukee.
Yep.
And it's a good thing it was late in the day and there was nobody out there, because I was like, I'm definitely on the wrong side of the road.
Yeah. I would hate to do that for your first time in the dark.
Yeah.
And
supposedly simple left and right turns from all directions.
I agree that the left turn is very simple.
So then I have another dangerous intersection-related topic.
Okay.
Again, local to us. If you're taking Altoona, if you're in Altoona and you're headed towards Marshalltown, you're on it's Highway 65 is 4-lane there, and it's also like Highway 330 or something like that.
Is that the Adventureland exit?
Yes, the Adventureland exit. If you're headed north out of Altoona, you're headed towards Marshalltown. There's a 4-lane road that takes you all the way, basically, to Marshalltown. Intersects with 30 west of Marshalltown a little bit.
Yeah, that's the one I would take when we go to the track out there.
So there's a major intersection there where 65 splits off of 330, and State Highway 117 also meets. So there's 3 highways meeting and diverging and converging all right there. Apparently that intersection is incredibly dangerous for people. to the point where they have all kinds of crazy flashing lights and signs coming in every direction that say high fatality intersection. And so,
okay.
To put some statistics to this, from 2003 to 2013, there have been 111 crashes and 9 fatalities. That's 1 death in every 12 crashes. The state average is 1 out of every 139.
Whoa.
So what the state has decided to do is about a quarter mile farther down the road, they are putting in a full-on on-ramp, off-ramp, standard intersection.
Okay.
But they also eminent domained a pretty sizable chunk of some organic farmer that's super popular in our local food.
Okay.
Or I can't even think of the name now.
Oh, farmers
markets.
Yeah.
Some guy that's super popular in those.
Okay.
They eminent domained a significant chunk of his land to build this intersection. And what he wanted was he had this, it's called a J-turn.
Okay.
Ooh, that's fun. That's where you go backwards and you flip forward real quick, right?
Unfortunately, it's not nearly that cool.
Dang it.
I know, right? So a J-turn essentially allows motorists who want to cross the intersection to make a right turn and then a U-turn, and this design eliminates the need for those crossing the highway to maneuver through high-speed traffic and eliminates dangerous left turns from the side of the road into a busy highway.
That's what they have in Detroit.
So, yeah, I don't know if it's a large portion of the state of Michigan, but I know for sure that in Detroit, you can't turn left at a lot of major red light intersections.
So how do you turn right and then do a U-turn?
So you take your right turn, you get over to the left lane, and then like not even half a mile down the road, but it's a U-turn area.
Oh,
that's all
so
it is.
But you have to cross back through that intersection.
Yeah, so then you go back the other direction.
You got to backtrack.
Awful.
I understand the safety aspect of it, but yeah, it is.
Because you have to
you
have to go through an intersection.
Yep. You have to cross all lanes of
traffic. You have to
do
turn
a
into
U-turn,
traffic.
And then by the time you get around and through that, for sure the lights changed. And you're stuck there.
And you have to and then you have to go through the intersection again.
Yeah.
Seems like you go through one intersection or go through 3 almost.
But apparently the J-turn, when used in rural highway merging situations, I think it'd be perfectly fine out there.
Okay.
Apparently, it's significantly safer based on statistics. It also takes up an incredibly smaller amount of space, like something on the scale of 10%.
Okay.
Which means that they would have had to take almost no land from that farmer to do it.
Okay.
And it'll take me a while because I don't really want to scan through here, but we're talking millions of dollars difference in project price.
Oh, I'm sure.
Millions. And so that's what this farmer was pushing for. And he got a ton of signatures. And the state said, nope, this is in our budget. This is what we're doing. We're not going to put a one-off intersection out here just for you. This is what the state does. Deal with it.
So your point is they've done a one-off intersection in Waukee.
Well, but we're adopting that one.
Yeah, that
We've
one's
decided
okay,
that's fine.
But the J-turn's not okay.
But the J-turn, and apparently there's a lot of states, it was specifically cited here that Missouri uses it quite regularly with rural highway intersections.
Interesting.
Where 2 lanes intersect with 4.
Yeah.
Apparently it's very common out there. But I'm all about, frankly, safety's great. That's all fine and dandy. What I'm really focused on for this, in my mind, is more the fact that it takes less land, because I'm not super pumped about this, about them taking all that for what seems to me to be a ridiculous intersection.
Yep.
And number 2, I'm all about the fact that it costs way less tax money, because I've talked about it many, many times. Our DOT just hemorrhages money in the stupidest ways.
Yeah, and then we don't have money to repair the roads that we have.
Our roads are terrible, and we're building these insane intersections.
Well, it's that Grimes exit. I know this is super local now, but that flyover Grimes exit that they're going to build, that's costing tens of millions of dollars too. So
right.
Yeah, we in the state of Iowa, we definitely have a problem with spending exorbitant amounts of money on stupid
is a countrywide issue, because you see these articles about how our infrastructure on a countrywide basis, like our bridges are falling apart, like that bridge that fell down in Minnesota, in Minneapolis quite a few years ago.
Yeah.
You know, we can't even afford to maintain what we've got, and we're building these ridiculous things that are so unnecessary to me.
Yeah. And those cost more to maintain, too.
Right. This would not require any overpass or underpasses. There's no bridges whatsoever.
Yeah.
That's win-win-win to me.
Where are the civil engineers with the level 3 safeties? Wait, no, it's level 1 safe. I don't know.
You only need a level 1?
Level 3.
Oh, shit.
I don't know.
Never mind.
Which one's higher, level 3 or level 1?
I have no idea.
I should
Is
know
this
this.
golf or basketball? It's hard to say.
Is it handicap? Yeah.
No,
Is it
I think it's
thing?
like a Six Sigma stuff.
Oh, so higher is better?
I think so. No, level 3 would be like a. I don't know, like an.
Is that
oven.
the new guy or the super?
No,
advanced?
level 3 is like an oven mitt, and then like a level 1 would be like impossible for me to burn myself. Or maybe, I can't. I can't remember if I'm backwards or not.
There's almost no way for you to screw it up. Basically, once you get to a level 3,
like a level 3.
Challenge accepted.
Like a level 3 is a sign next to the railroad.
Yep.
Level 2 would be the crossing
the crossbars. Yeah, they come down. Yeah.
And then a level 1 would be a bridge that goes over the train tracks.
Ah, interesting.
But we want, in that specific scenario, I want less number level 1s because that's expensive and hard to maintain. Apparently.
Yeah, he wants.
I choose safety.
I think he wants a 2. He wants a mixture.
But see, what I love about this
you need to
J-turn
balance it
thing
out.
is that apparently it's cheaper, takes less space, and statistically is safer. It checks all 3 boxes.
I know it does.
But we're still not going to use it.
I don't need you bringing logic into this show. I said it before, and I'm going to say it again.
It just upsets me.
Don't
it's
need
so
you bringing
ridiculous.
logic into tax dollars. I don't need you bringing logic into my life at all. So, but
I just want things to flow more efficiently, safely, and cheaper.
You can pick 2.
Apparently, but J-turns allow me to pick all
J-turns
3.
all 3.
The no. Plus, we have sick names then. J-turn, bro.
J-turn. What was the other one? The
Divergent Diamond.
Diverging Diamond.
Yep.
Maybe we can do a Kickstarter. And we can all make a really cool video.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Thomas just wants to make more videos.
Thomas just likes making videos. That's what he
which
does
is
for a
fine.
living, and he does it at home, and he just loves videos. Is that it?
What he does at
Yeah.
home.
Well, they're not those kind of videos.
No,
at
not those
home.
kind of videos. No, he makes more car videos.
You'd
at
probably
home.
make a lot more money doing those videos.
You probably
Kickstarter?
would. Be. Well,
What?
no.
Oh, those
Weird
ones.
videos.
Oh.
Yeah. No.
Those
Wait, but it's all for
videos.
free on the internet.
Well,
Not all of it.
Unless they start tipping.
Yeah.
Those ones.
We just went down a weird rabbit hole.
that is weird. Is that it for traffic flow?
That's all I've got.
I guess if you guys have weird intersections in your town, post them on the group.
Just make everything a roundabout.
I'm all about the
Don't
roundabout.
get me started on roundabouts.
I am all
Don't get me
about
started
the
on
roundabout.
roundabouts.
I just think that America in general is too stupid to use it
We
efficiently.
can't figure
We've
it
talked about it before. The people in Ames are really pissed about their roundabouts still.
I love them.
Guys, don't forget to check out Factor Fabrication. They're a new supporter of our show this week. The owner is Booney. You guys have probably seen him on the group. He's hung out with Eddie Bravo. He's a cool dude.
He's super rad.
Is that who that was? Was Eddie
Yeah,
Bravo?
it is Eddie
That's
Bravo.
what I thought.
I don't think anybody
wasn't
picked up on
sure.
that when he posted it on the group. But he's become a friend of ours. He's a friend of some of our friends that do autocross and track days. He's got a BMW that he's done a lot of work on.
Supercharged it.
Supercharged
It is
BMW
supercharged.
now,
It's
sir.
a Z3
Yeah,
clown shoe like Randy's.
it's pretty red. But check out factorfabrication.com. He does a lot of rad fabrication. He's a really good, he is an artisan. He's
There's some
a fabricator,
cool stuff.
but he's also a woodworker. You can see everything that they make on their website. He does commercial and residential stuff. He does everything he does is custom other than what's listed on their website. They've got tables, chairs. I mean, some of the stuff they make is pretty amazing. It's all beautiful. It's all handmade. It's all made here in Des Moines. He's a really cool dude. He can do any custom work that you can think of. It's just really cool. So check out factorfabrication.com or look him up on Facebook or Instagram. It's just cool stuff. Should we do PRI now?
Yeah.
So many things to talk about.
I don't even know where to start with this. Should we talk about how we whirlwinded this thing in 24 hours?
Almost to the minute. 24 hours.
It was supposed to be like 26 or 27 hours, but somebody got man
Someone
flu.
was all like, "Ugh, I'm sick and can't
That's
talk."
not true. I was sleeping in the media center. You guys were off doing your thing.
Yeah.
I was fine.
Okay, so we left Friday at what time did we end up leaving? 5:15 or so.
5:30ish, yeah.
Got on the road. We're not good at road trips. We are not very fast.
What? We did just fine.
We're not the fastest
By
at road
by
trips. though.
Veerhout family definition, I think we did fine. My dad would be really disappointed in
I feel
us.
like my dad would be disappointed also.
Yeah.
It took us at least an extra half hour.
Yeah, because that should have been a 1-stop, maybe 2-stop trip total.
No, whatever.
Yeah. Anyway, we're not the fastest when it comes to road trips. We were that way with Grid Life too. So
it is what it is.
It is what it is. But so we left at 5 or so in the morning. I think we got there about 2:30 finally, and there is a time change when you go over there. So we got there, got a great parking spot, got into the show.
We rocked that parking spot.
We got a great booth basically right out front, and got lost at the convention center. But once we got there, does anybody have any like opening thoughts for the show and the size of it and what they experienced, or what they thought maybe they were going to experience and what actually came to be?
I thought there'd be drift cars.
The drift community is very, very underrepresented there.
Did we find any drift cars?
No, but we talked to people.
Sicky was the only company that had any drift stuff, wasn't it?
Drift related.
Did we see anything else that was drift related? Not a single thing.
There was a... Oh, no, that's not drifting.
GC fans' ambitions for next year?
Possibly.
Yeah.
They talked about maybe doing some of that. There was a lot of circle track.
What I found interesting was you'd be walking around and there'd be these huge crowds of people around drag cars, and the next booth over, there's a DPI car that was driven by the Taylor brothers and Jeff Gordon and the 24 Hours of Daytona, and no one looked at it.
Is this a kit car, mate? This one?
No one could give a shit less about it, but this beat-up twin-turbo big block Nova, like, there's 6 rows of people looking at it. It was interesting to me. That seems to be a very drag racing focused event.
Yeah, and circle track. There was a lot of circle track.
There's a lot of circle track stuff there. Like, we talked to that Sin rep.
Yeah, that's nobody cared.
No one cared.
I could not believe. Do you remember? Could you believe that?
I vaguely remember seeing a car.
Oh, that's right. He was. Yeah, Robbie had serious man flu. But so anyway, we'll stick to chronologically. So we got there. I didn't know what to expect. I mean, you see pictures of SEMA. I'd not really seen pictures of PRI.
No, PRI is kind of low key a little bit.
It's very low key. It's big. I mean, I don't know how many square feet that was. We could probably look it up, but it's
well. If you looked at if you pulled the map out, which is like 2 newspapers put together, and then it has numbers on it. Then on the other side, it's just a list of all the people that are there, or companies that are there, and it's all in like size 3 font, and it's 7,000 companies.
Yeah.
And then you have to find the company and find the number, then you flip it over and then find the number there, and then be like, okay, well, that's 6 miles from here. And then you have to walk all the way over there.
Yep.
And then by the time you get there, you're ready to faint, and then you have to go back to the media room and take a nap.
Well, Robbie did.
Robbie did.
I didn't think it was that big, but I just...
You went to SEMA.
You just went to SEMA.
SEMA was huge, and then I could see all of everything almost at PRI, which was nice.
Did you think it was half the size of
No,
SEMA?
not even.
A quarter the size?
Maybe like a 16th.
No, that's not possible.
It seemed like it because you could see the end of the wall, and there was just like one building. You'd have to go outside, go to another building, and then go through that.
It was 2 halls though, because the halls like L into one another.
Yeah,
but it
and
was
then there
2.
was the offshoots, like the room that Sicky was in. That was a whole separate,
that was like
smaller
a convention
hall.
room.
And then there was the showcase room.
Yep,
which was another room.
that was cool.
And there were quite a few vendors, for lack of a better term, exhibitors, I think was their term, in the hallways as you walk from place to place.
It was like every overflow space had been taken over by somebody.
Yeah, I mean, unless there's more rooms in there, I don't know that they could really put... There was not a lot of empty spaces.
No. We should look up what the size of the Indiana Convention Center is, how many square feet it is. But they had taken up basically every square inch of it possible with one thing or another. So that first day we were there, since we got there at about 2:30, we kind of breezed through that first hall, and we
were just trying to get to our...
Yeah, we had said we were going to talk to Forge Line, so we went and talked to Forge Line, and they make some pretty rad wheels.
They have carbon fiber barrels now, which...
Gorgeous.
Do you remember those, Robbie?
Yeah, they're $16,000.
Oh, yeah.
Oof, did you find that number?
No,
I was talking
she gave it to me.
I was talking to him.
Okay.
Oh, did he say a piece?
No, a set.
A set is 16. Okay, okay. Because I couldn't tell if it was one.
Well, he's talking about like selling them to guys that own Lambos, like twin turbo Lambos and stuff like that. And he's like, and then I just sold a set to a guy with a C6 Corvette. So you know,
you
never know.
It's so it was a 20 by 10 wheel, and he said it was 17 pounds, I think,
which is the same weight as an NK 17 by 9 RPF1, which is a really, really light wheel.
Yeah,
but the
a
17
20 by 10,
but 20 Yeah, it's
insane.
Dramatic.
It's crazy.
Dramatic.
So that was pretty cool.
And that's just the barrel. The center is still
metal.
However, forged or billet or whatever it is that they're making them out of. But that
Forge line probably
makes a
forges them.
That's fair. Touche, Robbie.
I have no idea.
they could make anything. We don't have any clue.
They could be magnesium. I don't know. Whatever.
I don't have a clue. So anyway, those are pretty cool. They've got a lot of other cool stuff too there, though. Their regular wheels are cool. They're like, for me, they're like Rotiform. They just make nice wheels.
They do make a lot of cool looking wheels.
There's a lot of companies out there that make terrible wheels. I mean,
just there's a handful that make really nice ones.
Yeah, or just I feel like maybe someone that designed them likes designing things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Does that make sense? You look at something and you go, somebody really was excited about that design for this wheel.
Somebody gave a shit.
Somebody gave a shit. Yeah, they were excited to design this wheel, and you usually pay for it, which is, that's fair, whatever. But I just see a lot of really lazy wheels, I guess, or copies of other famous wheels, or just lazy 5-spokes, or maybe it's because I've come from muscle cars.
There's a lot of reps out there.
There's a lot of reps. There's a lot of reps made by real companies, too, which is weird in the muscle car world. Like, everybody makes Krager copies.
Yeah. There's a torque thrust for everybody.
There's a torque thrust, or I don't even know what they'd be, but the ones with the holes, the concentric holes on them.
Yeah.
I don't know what those are either, but everybody makes a set of those too. That's a Krager design, I think. But so, I don't know. I dig cool wheels when I see cool wheels.
Yep. For reference,
yes,
the Indiana Convention Center has 566,000 square feet.
Oof.
So I assume that's the whole thing, not just the halls.
With 33,000 square feet for the ballroom. I'm not sure if we used the ballroom. The SEMA has 1.2 million square feet.
So it's a quarter.
Slightly.
But
no, it's
they use the outside.
Oh, that's right. They do use the
outside. There's a lot of outside stuff.
Oh, you said you said close to 560.
No, SEMA has 1.2 million square feet of exhibit space.
Oh, boy. So it is half.
Not quite half.
Close to half.
It's not 16th?
No, it's about half.
Are you sure it's not a third?
Yeah, it says exhibit space. Oh, shit.
Is that outside?
Oh, shit.
Is that inside exhibit space?
And an additional 1.5 million square feet of features and attractions throughout Las Vegas Convention Center.
Good Lord.
Jesus Christ.
Almost 3 million square feet.
So a sixth.
It's a sixth. Not a 16th, though.
Yeah, take that, Thomas.
Whatever.
Your math.
I was only there for 4 hours. You cut me.
And he was
you didn't come close
very
to seeing all
deprived.
of it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it is quite a bit smaller than. That's amazing. We're going to have to go SEMA next year.
Yeah.
We'll talk about
For like
SEMA.
a week.
I don't even know that I want to go to SEMA at that point. Holy crap.
Is it possible to go there before all the people show up?
Yeah.
Like just without all the
No, we can't
just
pull
the exhibitors,
we
but no
can't
other
pull
humans?
the press card because we
You get there on Sunday and you drive a car for 3 days there. And then you get to see everything before it's set up.
Okay, so
there you go.
all we have to do is start a company, design a car for SEMA, get someone to.
We have 3 cars we would bring to SEMA.
Well, it has to be designed.
The Omni would be one of a kind at SEMA.
Yeah, see?
And we have to. Well, but we'd have to do something stupid to it, like
And the Fiat.
Golf wrap it.
golf wrap the Omni.
I'll get the blower on there.
Then we got to maybe we get some Forge Line wheels on it.
I'm going to get the center lock with my.
Yep.
We'll start my adapter ring company.
You just gave away $1 million.
I came up with my genius idea while we were at.
Well, now everybody's going to steal it. You might
It's
as well
fine. They
continue
can
now.
have it because I'm.
He's not going to do it.
I'm not going to do it.
Basically, all he was going to do is.
So you take a
5 by 114.
Yeah, well,
Or
I need a
4
4
by
by 100, Robbie. But you take a spacer, and you make it adapt to go from 4 by 100 or 5 by 114 or whatever bolt pattern you have to center lock, so you can put Forge Line's 6 center lock wheels on your car.
There's clearly a market for this.
You're going to get like 40 eBay links.
Super
on the group.
race car thing.
You're going to get a bunch of eBay links on the
Do
group.
you think
I'll tell you that
I
right
never
now.
bothered to search?
I know
see
none
if
of
it
us looked up to
exists,
see if
but
it was a real thing.
That's because even if it was, I wouldn't buy it.
Maybe we need to.
It is a little sketchy.
A little bit.
It's a tiny bit sketchy. It's
Well,
a
you got
lot
to put.
sketchy.
I don't know what the number is, but it's a huge amount of torque
Oh, on the center lock
that you have
bolt?
to put on a center lock nut.
Yeah.
So there's no way that's
It's
going
gonna
to
hold up
work
to that. The
well
threads
for
on
you.
You have to buy a
cheap
special,
Chinese.
special torque wrench just to.
Yeah, they're like 6 foot long.
Uh-huh.
So then we went over and talked to GC Cooling for a while, which we learned is like a stone's throw away from my office, and I had no idea. But they're an Italian cooling.
I'm really starting to think I need to replace my fans.
The fans are cheap, though.
They are.
Yeah, they were incredibly affordable.
And they're cubic feet. Get off my phone.
Well, you're the one that put it there.
Their CFH, cubic feet per hour of fan flow was probably much
Quite high.
higher than mine.
Yeah. We'll do a little
check out
tour,
their
I
stuff.
think. We're going to try to get a tour set up with them so we can see what their facility's like. But they are the North American affiliate for GC Cooling, and they're in Des Moines, of all places.
Crazy.
But then after that, we basically ran out of time. So then we went over and did the fan meet over at
the
Acapulco
world's
Joe's.
worst Mexican restaurant.
Sorry to those that showed up to the Mexican restaurant.
I don't care what Jabe says. We're never going back there again.
So the reason that we picked Acapulco Joe's,
It's just really hard to say.
Acapulco Joe's, it is. There's too many vowels in it. Was because that's where they had the slip angle meet.
Like the last 2 years.
Yeah, and we're like, well, it must be okay then. And then we, they know where it is. It's got to be nearby. And then we could bring in the 10 Tenths people. And there's people that listen to both, so people could come hang out with everybody.
Never again.
No.
Slip Angle can have their stupid
restaurant
meeting and their stupid restaurant. We're going to go eat something that doesn't suck.
Yeah.
You had a burger at a Mexican restaurant.
Yeah, but tell me that the Mexican food that you guys ate there was any good.
Mine was fine.
It was all right.
I just got really full really quick.
It didn't look good.
I would rather go to
There's a Giardino's Pizza. We walked right by.
deep dish Chicago style pizza,
One of the-
which you
way
can't
better.
get here.
That people claim
in Des
is
Moines.
like, there are a lot of people out there say that is the best pizza you can,
The last time I
that
was there, it
money
was really
can
good.
buy.
Did you know you can ship it?
Yeah.
$65 will get you a large here tomorrow.
It's 65. I thought it was 40.
65.
I think that's the shipping
You
cost.
get day old pizza for 65.
No.
bake it at home.
They don't
Yeah.
bake it. They ship it to you.
They
Frozen.
they make it
They put it in like a deep, like a
dry ice.
dry ice thing, and then they ship it to you.
And you bake
And
it.
they have very specific baking instructions to put it in your oven.
Huh.
You can't have it anyway, though, so it doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
I'm glad we didn't go to the pizza place. I would have ate a salad.
I think they have salads.
Can't put any cheese on it, though.
So, but the meat was good.
Was it?
What was wrong with the meat?
My vegetables were delicious.
No, I'm not talking about not the food. The 10 Tenths meet and greet. Oh, you. Jesus,
I knew what you meant.
meat. Yeah, I know you did. You're looking at me like, yeah, fuck you.
I was still on the terrible food.
These two had no fucking clue what you were talking about.
I ordered a burger at a Mexican joint, and of course, as soon as friend of the show George pulls it, did he seriously order a burger at a Mexican?
I was like, yes,
Did you
welcome.
did you
Welcome. We
expect
deal with this
anything
shit
less?
every week.
It was terrible, by the way.
The burger was
it didn't
terrible?
look
Yeah,
good.
I ate the whole thing, but it was terrible.
Well, yeah,
You're very
you're
hungry.
not gonna waste
It's been
it.
a long
No,
day.
I spent money on it.
But the meat was good. The guys from Petrobox came. Kevin Lawrence came. George came.
Hey!
Shut up!
Phrasing, Michael.
Shut up!
Where were you?
Josh came.
Yep.
Slip Angle came.
So,
Ant came.
whoa.
Ant did. Yep.
Jam.
Jam came from
Man
Injuku.
of many
Hey, when we
names,
all sat
apparently.
down,
Yeah.
I didn't think about it, but did you specifically leave a spot in between you and Robbie for a special someone to sit there?
A little bit.
Probably.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I didn't want to sit next to Robbie because of his man.
Yeah,
flu.
we're trying not to die.
In all reality, I should have sat in the corner by myself.
Should put
So
you in a
what
separate
happened to
booth.
you? Because you
Okay.
you had the cold.
I had a cold like
Okay.
all week, like from Monday to Thursday, just like a normal head cold, nothing too crazy. I'm like, okay, Thursday I felt pretty good. And how graphic do we want to get on here?
Well, what happened? Was there bleeding or what?
No, so Friday morning.
I don't know what you're gonna say.
I remember.
I know what he's
Pick
going
a-
to say.
pick some
and I'm-
middle ground.
It's fine.
Pick a middle ground. Can you soften it?
Yeah.
I'm really concerned now. I'm really concerned about what he's gonna say.
It was soft enough.
It was. So Friday morning at like 3 a.m, I woke up and I had to use the restroom.
Okay.
And I did something I've never done before.
Okay.
I clogged the toilet without any toilet paper.
Okay. All right.
But then I
So you're
felt
dying on the inside. Is basically the moral of the story.
Yes.
And this is the night before we have to leave.
like 2 hours before we leave.
It's like
Okay.
the morning of.
Yeah.
Like I should have just got up and came to your house. So then I go back to sleep for like an hour and a half.
Okay.
And I feel a little better. And then I get to your house, and I feel awful. But we drive there. I drive most of the way, and I'm losing my voice the longer I talk.
Yep.
And it's getting noticeable.
Of course, we're carrying on and having a good
Screaming
time.
in the car. Yep.
Yeah.
It was a nice drive. That was the most we've talked to each other in a long time besides the
In
show.
a year,
Probably,
probably.
yeah.
Well, since
That's
grid
because we
life.
don't do anything else together outside of the show.
It's because we go to Mexican places and he orders burgers. It's embarrassing.
Can't take this.
Why we can't go out to eat?
So then we get there, and by the time we get to the show, I'm done. I can't talk to anybody. Like, they're trying to ask me about my car at the GC cooling booth. I'm like, yeah, it's a 240.
It's a Nissan.
Just text me, Robbie. I'll read it for you.
I could not talk to anybody. I couldn't speak loud enough for people to hear me over the noise of the show. So then we go to the dinner, and then
This is where it gets better.
then we sit down. I'm like, is it rude for me to shake people's hands? It's probably ruder for me to shake their hands, because now they're going to get sick, and it's that fuckface from Iowa that got me sick. So then I'm sitting there trying to keep to myself, and Aunt's telling me a story about Injuku, which is really cool because I actually was enjoying that because I didn't have to talk much. I could just listen to cool stories, which was nice. But then people are asking me questions, and I feel rude because I'm like, yeah, hey, nice to meet you. Thanks for coming. And then Kevin Lawrence is sitting to my left directly, and I can't talk to him. The most famous person I've ever had sit next to me at lunch, ever. And I can't talk to him. And then the running joke for the rest of the weekend is, oh, that fuckface Robbie hates Kevin Lawrence for no reason at all.
Rude. Why wouldn't he talk to anybody?
Well, then
When he was shaking my hand or look me in the eyes. That
yeah,
jerk.
just trying to give me fist bump. What the hell is that?
So I'm sitting there just kind of nodding my head going, yeah, tell me more, because I can't talk.
Don't ask any questions, please.
That's why I'm like kind of listening to this conversation to my right and then listening to this conversation to my left. And it's like, yeah, we should go. And by the time we get to the hotel, I feel like I have a concussion headache. It's the worst I've had since my concussion. I feel horrible. Go back to the hotel. We get checked in, which is a whole nightmare in itself. Get showered. I'm in bed asleep by 10 o'clock. Well, and before that, we get a text from Kevin Lawrence. Hey, you guys want to go and get some beers? We'll pick you up. Yeah, I would love to. Except that I'm dead. So instead of going to get drinks with a minor celebrity, I have to go to bed by myself at 10 o'clock while everyone else is out partying. And then Michael comes back, pouring himself into the room at like 3 in the morning.
It was not 3.
That's not true. I shut it down at 11 because the whole time I was like, Robbie really doesn't feel good. I was like, I'll go out. We'll have a couple of drinks. Went out with Kevin and Aunt and Thomas. We had a great time. And I was like, but I've been up since 4 o'clock in the morning. Like, let's shut it down because we got to work in heavy air quotes tomorrow.
We got work to do.
Got stuff to do. So, we shut it down after a couple of drinks, came back, and I come in the door, and this hotel, I didn't say, anyway, so I come in the door. This hotel that we're in, we've skipped some stuff because when we first checked in, they only had one room. It was a king-size bedroom with a jacuzzi.
Which Thomas would not join me in.
No, sorry.
We have a picture of at least we have a picture of you enjoying the jacuzzi.
Yeah, but Thomas wouldn't enjoy it with me, which was really, frankly, not nice.
It's rude, to be honest. But
yeah,
so anyway,
we invited him to come with us.
Yeah,
hang out with us.
He wouldn't even hang out.
And
he
wouldn't even hang out in the jacuzzi.
All Adam wanted you to do was come in the tub with him.
So anyway, so they've screwed up our room. We've only got one room for 4 of us. And like, okay, this could potentially work, but I'm not very happy about it. So he's like, all right. So it takes him like 15 minutes, and all of a sudden he finds a room, which I don't know how you find a room. Like, shouldn't you know how many rooms you have right now?
Even
based
if you
on
had
how many
like the
reservations?
most basic of software, you should even if you had just an Excel sheet that said open closed for all the rooms, you could still be able to go, oh, here's
a room.
This one's green.
So he finds a room. I'm like, okay, great. We'll deal with this. We'll make this work. So you guys, Adam and Thomas, get the lover's suite, and then me and Robbie will take the other suite. So we go.
It's a dump.
It's a dump. So the door is falling off the hinges. was where that story
never
was
went and
going.
saw you
Yeah,
guys.
so the door wasn't fully attached to the frame, and
Classy.
so to open it,
You kick it.
You had you had to like shove it in, and then it would kind of tilt off the hinge, and it would make this horrible noise. So there wasn't any way to open the door sober or even slightly not sober without making a shitload of noise.
I didn't know this.
So my bad, open it. But I opened the door loudly, and all the lights are on in the room. He passed out. But the other problem with our room was there were 2 settings on the heating in that room. It was either blast furnace or fully outside air freezing your ass off.
I bet it was 95.
So it was. So when I came in, I was just like hit by this heat. All the lights are on, and the heat is. I'm like, holy shit, what's going on here? So I go over there, and I'm like, okay, the thermostat's
Sweating
broken.
it out, man.
So I flipped it just a fan.
that made it so much worse.
And then Robbie gets up and looks at me all delirious, like he doesn't even know where he is. And I'm like, you okay,
Who are
dude?
you?
He's like, yeah, yep. I'm like,
I
are
didn't
you
say
sure?
that- I didn't say it that loud.
I'm like, it's 85 degrees in here and all the lights are on. Do you have a fever? You're like, no, man. And then he went back to bed. So I'm like, okay, this is super weird.
Well, so meanwhile in our room,
Forget the show, hotel shit.
he was supposed to get me a rollaway.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He forgot. So I was like, okay, fine. I'll just hang out on the couch here until my rollaway shows up. Meanwhile, I'm exhausted because I only got like 2.5 or 3 hours of sleep because I had to go to work late that Thursday night. And so
We also did half a mile or half a
yeah.
marathon.
Oh, we didn't even tell that story. So Robbie had bought some stickers for Jabe for a Christmas present and then probably forgot them in the car because he was trying not to die. I don't blame him for it. So then I decided, well, we can't not give those to him. And the next time we're probably going to see the guy is
Grid life.
June.
Yep.
So I took it upon myself to sprint all the way back to our parking garage, which was by my
He
definition.
sprinted.
Casually jogged.
He moved faster than walking back to the car.
for most of it. There were some times where I had to
Was there a
stop.
break?
Let's be real.
Did you
You
take
had
a
to
break?
stop and sit on some steps.
Did you stop
for a
at that
minute.
Noodles and Co. and like,
No,
hey,
there
can I
were some
get...
sketchy people. I'd never stopped. Let's be real here. Small town Iowa me was kicking in, so I kept moving.
He was alone in the big
There's
city.
more than 100,000 people in this town. I can't take it.
By myself, had to put my wallet in my
And you
front
didn't have your
pocket
cell
just for
phone, so
safety.
something
yeah, I didn't have my
happened.
cell phone. Something would have happened to me, I'd have been gone forever.
Then Adam wouldn't have got his stickers, and then that would
Yeah,
have been
that would have been real bad.
Robbie would have been upset.
bad. Yeah.
So yes, I was very much ready to go to sleep at that point. And so I fell asleep on the couch because the guy never showed up with my rollaway. And then when
I felt really bad because there was a king size bed that he could have just slept in.
I think Thomas took it upon himself to go and get me the rollaway.
No, because they had fucked up the reservation. When I showed up, when Kevin dropped me off and I came back through the...
Right.
He said, oh, I didn't get that rollaway.
Because I needed a key to get in the room.
Oh, that's right, because he lost his key.
I never got one.
He never got
he
a
was,
key.
He was too drunk.
He didn't
Let's
get a
be
key.
real here.
I
Or
only
whatever.
had 2 drinks, and I spilled the third one on Kevin.
Why does he like us? I don't even get it.
He doesn't anymore.
So anyway, yeah.
So I think that Thomas brought... I barely remember even getting in the rollaway, to be completely honest with you. But frankly, the couch was better. It was like sleeping at a taco because some very overweight people must have slept in that bed repeatedly for a long time. Because when I laid down in it, it just kind of like folded the wrong way around me. You know, like normally they fold in the middle.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it still did, but it folded
Hot dog style or hamburger
hot
style?
dog style. Well, not it's not supposed to fold hot dog style, but it did when you got in it.
Yeah, that's a
And
worn out mattress.
At that point, I didn't even care. I was just so tired.
I get
and
it.
I only vaguely remember that even happening. The transition from
You
couch to
you
bed.
made the bed like
I probably did.
But he was very tired.
Would you like? According to my girlfriend, I have full conversations I don't even remember.
It's called autopilot.
When I sleep, I'm sleeping. I take my sleeping seriously. So I don't remember any of it, really.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, I didn't get any sleep either because every 2 hours I had to flip the thing back from outside air to heat because it had gone from 85 degrees to 60 degrees in the room, and then I had to flip it back and flip it back.
Lord knows Robbie wasn't going to do it.
No, Robbie was...
It wouldn't have mattered.
But he wasn't asleep, though, either, because I could hear him gurgling his own snot and,
tossing and turning.
Drowning basically.
Oh, please. That's my everyday. I don't sleep on my back. Let's put it that way.
Normal people can go to hotels and just,
I didn't hear any snoring.
sleep or...
It was just heavy breathing.
Yeah, he didn't snore at Grid Life either.
I think actually if my nose is really stuffed, I don't snore because it's so bad I can't get any air through it. And so then I just breathe through my mouth. As long as I sleep on my side, I'm good. According to my girlfriend, when I'm on my back, then I snore. If I roll to my side, then I don't. So a lot of times she'll push me over because you can't get me to do it, like 'cause I'm sleeping. But
So then you guys all got up and were having breakfast.
We got up. I accidentally got us up an hour early,
Yep.
which Robbie was not happy about
So
later
I
on.
drug myself down to breakfast, and I forced myself to drink like 3 cups of orange juice and apple juice, and then I had a muffin, and that's all I could do.
And so we get back to the show. We go to the media center.
Bright and early at 8 o'clock.
Bright and early. Doesn't open till 9.
I
as
do
it turns
my
out.
media brief.
You
Yep.
did your media brief in the
Yep.
media room, which was good, informative. Really enjoyed that. And then we hung out for a little bit. The show did open a little early, though.
Yeah, a lot of people showed up
We
between
went
8
in
and
at
9.
8:30 and went through. It was really nice going in at 8:30 because there was nobody there.
yeah, it was really quiet.
Got to check out the diesel. What was
Pro
it?
Mod. It was a
Diesel
Pro
Pro Mod Willys.
Was it a Willys?
I think it
wasn't
was a
sure. I
Willys.
didn't pay that much attention to it.
I don't think it had anything on the front of it, so it could
Yeah.
have been anything really.
Yeah.
But it was pretty cool. I've never seen like a diesel Pro Mod before.
That's all
Is that
billet.
common?
It's all billet.
Is that
The
common?
whole thing.
gotta be.
No, I think that is like the first one that's built to be Pro Mod competitive as a diesel powered platform.
Okay.
I'm not even sure that it actually can be qualified as a I don't know that they can take it to a Pro Mod event and compete with it because I don't know that the rules even have engine requirements for that.
For a diesel.
They said they'd never raced it.
Yeah.
But he had run that motor in something else though, or a similar. motor.
Apparently the guy that built the motor, which I believe is Wagler, if I remember correctly, he runs that in some sort of pulling truck.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's what it was.
That makes sense. I'll be honest, that car is my worst fear when it comes to wrapping. Because either they put the wrong chemical when they were cleaning it, or they really screwed it up when they installed it. Because you could see like where the color changed, where they wiped something across it.
Oh,
so like
geez.
the whole top of the car was just like the color had smeared between blue and purple, and you could, like almost like someone had wiped like acetone across it or something. So I was nitpicking that, going, God,
Yeah, that's
it's
all.
such a
Robbie,
good.
that's
it's
all. Robbie,
such a good wrap.
That's all
job.
Robbie did all day. He's like, "This wrap's terrible." That's all he did all day.
Just the one. And I assume somebody just screwed up and put the wrong cleaning chemical on it, and
It kind of
ruined
looked
the
like
roof.
somebody had tried to clean it with something a little heavier than Windex or something.
Yeah, 'cause it-
Like
I mean,
they
it
grabbed
was-
the wrong bottle.
It was a well done wrap job. I mean,
Yeah.
all the lines, the seams were
great.
perfect.
Yeah, seams were great.
I didn't notice it at all.
Yeah, I know. Like, once I got past the engine, and we all came to the conclusion that it was in fact a diesel.
I didn't
then
get
I looked
past
at the
the
rest of the
engine.
Yeah,
car.
because Robbie pointed out the obvious that the gas tank had been
Hey, this is
etched with the word diesel.
this is
on
a
it.
dumb question. Is this a diesel?
Yes, right here it says diesel on it.
Hey, at least I could ask the question.
I wouldn't ask it. I was like, I don't want to be.
I pointed it out.
I don't want to be wrong and look like a complete fucking moron, so I'm not going to ask him. And Michael's like, I don't give a shit.
Fuck 'em.
I'll go ask him.
I was like, the first thing I said all day was, "See there, diesel."
I was like, there's no spark plugs on top.
Right.
This got
Yeah,
to
we
be.
had figured out it was a diesel. It wasn't like we,
Explain to me how this is a diesel. Like, how does this work?
It doesn't look like a diesel engine.
No,
it
not
doesn't.
at all.
No, it does
Not at
not
all.
look like one.
So
But that was after we got done drooling at the
the
Radical, which I didn't realize that they had a little tiny V8 for those that you could buy.
That was like a 2.4 liter.
Yeah, or 2.9 or something like that. It's a little teeny
super
one.
weird.
They had an EcoBoost on the other side of the.
Not interested in that.
Well,
I
EcoBoost
know,
had
but
like
it's kind of
200 more
interesting.
horsepower.
Yeah, still not interested.
Oh, I'm 100% with you, but it's kind of an interesting option.
I like it.
'Cause
I'm sure it's
it's a
hugely cheaper.
it's a mass market engine that you could run down to the parts store and get parts for at a Grid Life event when you have a problem.
Yes.
So
but the other one looked way cooler.
Oh, I'm 100%. If I had to choose, I would make the worst of the two decisions and for sure get the V8.
Yeah, the V8 was pretty rad.
Yeah, it was super cool.
11,000 RPM. It must be 2 superbike motors put together. That's the only thing I can think of. They did have a
nothing
high...
else. It's probably the heads.
Yeah, true. Yep, and it's a machined block or something, or a billet block. They had a Busa motor for that too. Was that boosted?
The smallest one? No.
Yeah, the little tiny Busa motor. It was just a Busa motor.
It made roughly half what the V8 did, oddly enough.
There you go. It could be based on a Busa motor because even if that works out to 2.6, but they could stroke it or do something.
It's probably Busa heads
with a different bore stroke or something. Yeah,
that they make. Probably still use the same pistons, connecting rods, stuff like that, and then a crank and a block, but still semi-modular.
Yeah,
that
would be better
intelligent
overall.
Way to design.
Yeah, because then when you're ready to rebuild it, you could order Hayabusa parts for it. I mean, not the crank, obviously, but
get a sleeve motor.
Yeah,
and just make it a little bit easier to rebuild.
Yep. So that was pretty cool. What else was cool? The Sin.
The Sin was
car
awesome.
We've talked about before. That was pretty sick.
Yeah, you
was all about it.
You offended him.
Did
bad.
What'd you say to him?
Because he asked him if we could import them as kit cars, and I thought that guy was going to come
unglued. Because what I said was, can they be street legal here in the United States? And he said no. And I said, so you guys don't import them as kit cars like some others do?
Right. I know exactly.
And he was like, no.
Yeah, no, I knew exactly what you were getting at, and I understand why you asked the question. But that guy took it as like a smite against the car. He's like, no, this is built to be a car by itself. This is not a kit car.
And honestly, kudos to them for sticking to their guns on it.
I'm all for them for saying that.
I hope they're successful.
I am too. It's a kit car. I'm sorry. It's an LS in it. It's an LS powered tube chassis frame with carbon fiber body panels. That's a kit car.
Yeah. Why wouldn't you be all about embracing that kit car thing?
Yeah, get it in the States.
Bring it in, have a company bring it in, have them reassemble them, and then sell them.
That's what Ultima does.
Yeah, I mean,
I think they'd be better off if they approached it that way.
Even did that on some of their cars.
Well, it'd be significantly cheaper.
Yeah, I don't see any reason not to. Other than the stigma.
I don't think is there a stigma with cars like that?
No, because if you drive that car to a Cars and Coffee,
people are going to stop what they're doing.
Yeah, people don't care what it is. No, and you could go up and tell, it's a UK based company. They make them in, where did he say they make them in? Hungary or something? Bulgaria. Yeah, Bulgaria. Now. So, I mean, there's no brand heritage or anything to.
Yeah, I understand the stigma behind I pulled the Beetle body off of this and dropped this shit fiberglass body on top of it. Yeah, there's a stigma around those kit cars. But when you're building cars like anything that Factory 5 makes or Ultima or SLC or any of those companies, I don't think that there's a stigma because they're, quote, kit cars.
No, because he said it was $220 for the road. $230 for the road one. I mean...
track day one.
Yeah, right, because you can't drive it on the road.
It's not a road car.
I mean, what else are you going to buy for that money? For an entire carbon fiber car.
I'd take that over the Lambo or Ferrari that would be of similar cost, just because that's even more unique and interesting, and it's got an LS in it, so I can fix it and service it.
I'd much rather have the tube chassis. I mean, it's safer, race car.
Yeah, that's the other part of it too. Is if you buy some random obscure car, how do you service it here? Yeah. If it's got an LS-based motor, you can work on it. Or maybe they have an authorized dealer. I don't know. But
it's just an LS3. I
sure
can
there's
take
no
it wherever I want
for any of that, since you can only buy it as a track car. But anyway, it has sweet gull wing door things on it.
I want it.
Yep.
There were two of them there.
They had the GT3 car in another booth. The actual race car was in another booth, and then their booth they had their track day car.
Yeah.
Which had a larger. It was the same as the race car, except because it doesn't have to fit under GT3 rules. It had a larger rear spoiler and the dive planes on the front. It's the only difference.
Yep. Very cool though. Like that a lot.
Yes.
It was cool to see that.
What was that 911? Did you look at that very closely, Thomas?
That AST's booth?
Yeah.
Moton, whatever.
It was a turbo body with an NA engine, and there's 250 of them. and it was some air-cooled Porsche, maybe like a 964.
Okay.
So from the factory, it was the turbo body, which is wider front and rear fenders,
Mm-hmm. But
but
for the
had
guys that
the
wanted an
naturally
NA,
aspirated motor in it.
yeah.
Hmm.
And it had crazy Moton suspension on it
Right, because
It was Moton's.
because
booth.
Moton.
Don't like all 911s, but that was pretty cool.
No, it was cool.
Vibrance booth was cool. We got to see Aaron and Art again.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's always good to see those guys.
that
Now we see
awesome
them about every
S2000.
freaking 6 months.
Which is
it's
cool.
fine.
Yeah,
They're
it's great. And they had all those titanium pieces that.
Like the new line or whatever.
Yeah, they're
I've
new
never
line
actually
titanium parts.
held a titanium pipe in my hands before.
Yeah, because companies talk about it all the time, like Lamborghini. We have titanium
Right, yeah.
exhaust. Oh, okay,
It's
whatever.
super, super light.
Oh my god, it's thin.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't seem like something that would stand up to
Thin and strong.
much abuse. It's pretty cool.
But when you
though.
see that like big long piece, they had that one with the resonator on the end of it, and you just
Yeah.
assume it's heavy. You just about pick it up and throw it over your head. That's
Very
stuff you don't get to touch as a mere mortal most of the time.
And they had the turbo.
Twin turbo J32 swapped S2000.
Which was very clean.
I'm going to make this heresy of a statement. That's the motor that they should have came with.
Wait, what did that come from?
That's like so that would be the 6-cylinder that they put in like the Accords and the Odysseys and stuff like that. That's
Wait, in the
Honda's,
S2K? The blue one at
Yeah, that
Vibrant?
blue
Yeah.
S2K was a 3.2 liter V6 that Honda made.
Wow, I really don't pay attention enough.
I thought it was,
I was
an
like,
LS.
oh,
on the
hey, there's a
internet.
little like 4-cylinder there. Cool,
No,
with turbos.
that was a twin turbo 6-cylinder.
So those made like 270 horsepower, didn't they?
Something.
Stock, or maybe not that
The
much.
J?
but- Yeah,
It's something like that.
Or
They came in like the
250.
TL Type S and stuff like that too.
but a lot
I
more
think they're
torque.
Great motors. I think that would have been a much more interesting car with that motor in it.
Yeah, I would
I know it doesn't have quite the rev range that the S2 or that the F20 and the 22 have, but that's part of what makes that car cool. But at the same time, it's part of what kills it for me.
Well, I think that's most people's complaint is that you have to thrash the living shit out of it.
That's why I bought the TT over an S2000 because I test drove one and almost bought it, but decided that you have to be that guy to have fun with it on the street, and I didn't want to be that guy.
I think that was people's complaint about the RX-8 also.
Right.
You just have to thrash the living shit out of it all the time.
Right.
So, yeah, it
That's
would've-
fine on a Sunday afternoon, but I feel like a douchebag on a Monday morning on my
Right.
way to work.
Yep, it's great for a track day car.
Right.
But yeah, I can't remember. We'll have to tag whoever that is that built that car because Vibrant was pretty straightforward with whoever did it. Just
Schmuck something.
Schmuck engineer or Schmuck fabrication or something like that.
Something
But
like that.
he did an awesome freaking job with that thing.
It was really cool.
I think that was one of the probably the favorites of the show
Yeah, I'd say so for sure.
because they got shared a lot. Vibrant's really good about that. I mean, but they make some really rad fabrication stuff. So
Yep.
people make cool stuff with their
I
parts.
want to know where he got that blue carbon fiber trunk. Did you see it?
No,
I
I
didn't
didn't look
even
at that
realize
closely.
that.
Yeah, like it was like it's blue weave carbon fiber, and it was really
Is
well
the carbon
done.
fiber blue or is the resin blue?
The carbon fiber.
Okay.
Well, it's like black with blue.
Okay. Oh, it's okay. Okay.
It's like how
the fiber
like,
itself.
Yeah, like how Koenigsegg does it.
I got you.
Oh, it was cool.
You think somebody made it?
I want to know who makes it because that'd be awesome.
Do you think it's a one-off though?
I don't know.
I'm saying?
I've never seen one like that before.
Can you imagine any more of a Robbie product? Blue and carbon fiber.
I don't understand why Robbie doesn't have like a custom carbon fiber side business.
I should.
That's like all he does is he just makes like.
All right. Well, this
you
is
want
the
a hood?
last time I'll be on the podcast. I'm going to be busy making carbon fiber.
Yeah,
You want a
with all-
hood?
with all his
$5,000.
free time, I'm sure he can do that for you.
Oh, I'm about to become more free here in about 2 days.
Listen, people listening to this podcast, everybody should strive to be just like Robbie. Your kids should listen to this. Everybody should gather around and listen to the life decision that Robbie has made.
I have decided to drop out of college because it sucks so bad. It sucks so bad. I don't care.
But you said you're not going to get anything out of it, at least at your current employer.
No, the only way I'll get anything out of it is if I get my master's and then immediately quit my job and then find
and go
somewhere
work
else.
somewhere else.
Yes.
Yep.
Because I won't get a raise just because of that.
Right.
It'll only be based on how I'm doing at work. Any promotion that I would get would have no bearing on whether or not I get this. They used to do $10,000 bonuses. That's what every degree you got. That's not a thing anymore.
What? That's shit.
I know, but they paid for it, so that's why people do it.
It's free.
Like, I never
and
had.
they give me an extra $10,000. I mean, you can't be too mad about it.
I never had any ambitions to get my master's, and then they're like, "We'll give it to you for free." And I was like, "Okay, I'm not that busy."
Then you started a podcast.
And then I
started a podcast.
Then I'm doing a podcast with these guys.
And then you tried editing video.
I like editing video. I like working on my car. I like having a fiance that thinks I spend time with her. So I don't know. I was just really worn thin this year. I'm like, you know what? This is not what I want to be chasing after.
Anyway,
So,
favorite things at PRI. What was your favorite thing, you think?
mine was...
Or thing you were most impressed by?
I definitely
maybe?
liked the Vibrant car. That was pretty cool. Annoyingly, the Gas Monkey Pantera, I liked that quite a lot because I wanted to hate it, but it was coyote swapped and it was done really well. And I was like, yeah, okay, this actually looks really nice. They did good work with that. The Camaro.
Panteros are kind of cool because they're very Ford GTE.
Yeah.
But they're also kind of different.
Yeah, I saw somebody going like, "Oh yeah, that's just a Ford DT." Like, no,
No,
No.
not even a little bit.
This is an Italian designed and built
With
supercar
American power.
with American power. It's perfect. It's exactly what you're looking for. Italians do the looks, the Americans do the engine. You don't even need to swap it. It's ready to go.
I mean, you can, but you don't have to.
You don't have to. You're kind of already there anyway. So I like that quite a bit. What's the Camaro? The guy, the one that ran at Good Guys. I took that photo of.
The Speedway one?
No, the one that's got like the steampunk dash in it.
Desold.
Yeah, that thing's always cool. I mean, every
That
time
thing
I see
is
it, it's
cool.
cool.
I love that interior.
I spent so much time on that interior.
That's saddle leather.
Saddle leather, all those aviation gauges.
Super cool.
I think it's like riveted together maybe.
Yeah,
It's just got that kind of
it's
pilot
riveted.
look to it. It's the seats. Oh my God, the seats in that thing. So it's a really well put together build. I really enjoy that. I don't know. I was really overwhelmed because we only had 24 hours to
So
get
much to
through
take
it.
in.
And it's interesting because I think in some ways SEMA would be better for us because SEMA's like a party. It's, everybody's there to screw around. People build stupid stuff. It's a spectacle, all that. This is a trade show. And I think it's getting a little spectacle-y because they had the
Street Outlaws.
Street Outlaws guys there. And there, I heard, did you see any of that press coverage for the Street Outlaws thing?
No. What bullshit were they
I won't-
pulling?
I'm not offended by things very often, and I wouldn't really say I was offended, but I felt like some of the things he said didn't need to be said.
That's their par for the course.
He used a derogatory homosexual word for turbos, and I was like, is that really necessary right now?
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so because
When was this?
it was Friday or something. It
they're
might have
doing
been while we were
like
there.
like a shit talking while people.
Yeah, I don't even know who it was because I don't know anything about those guys. But I was just like, do we need to do that right now? Like,
Every time I saw their cars or them walking around, I was just genuinely annoyed. I'm like, this is not the focus of this place.
Somebody had built like a 900 cc or a cubic inch motor for him, and he was spraying it because he said the bad things about turbos and superchargers and stuff. So I don't know. That was a big deal.
I don't know which one that one is, I guess.
I don't know either. I don't really care, but somebody at work showed it to me.
I know that they were working on Chief's car, like, in the booth.
Yeah.
They were, like, it looked to me like they were putting rear end in it or something. I don't know. They're working on it right there in the booth, though.
Which car is his?
His is the GTO that was in the Nitrous Nitrous Express booth?
Probably.
I think so. And then the other big guy, the other big name is that Sean, who was in the Stainless Works booth.
What did he have?
It's a black Nova.
Might have been Sean.
He's got turbos.
Does he? Okay, it wasn't Sean then. I don't know who this guy was. Frankly, I don't care.
There's a handful of them that use nitrous, but I don't know enough about it. I just listen to their podcast because some of the shit they say is so
out of control.
It's funny, but
yeah. So
everyone knows my stance on street racing. So
yeah, I just there was a lot of Street Outlaws must have figured out that like they could. PRI was a good spot for them from a marketing perspective.
They do that They do that same level of stuff at SEMA.
Do they really?
Yeah.
I think they probably get more coverage at PRI though.
Probably because
they're kind of the big dicks there at
like
PRI.
I said, there was a lot of focus on the drag cars.
Yes.
What was interesting, there was a Top Fuel funny car there, and there was nobody around it. No one could give a shit less about it.
Yeah.
Nobody cares about a pro build.
Right.
Yeah, it is weird. The whole street thing is very, but it's.
And I'm a door slammer guy. Don't get me wrong. I would much rather look at door slammer cars, but generally speaking, at least maybe not anymore, but I used to be in the minority in that. You know, I used to love Pro Mod when I was little in the early 2000s. Pro Mod was where it was at for me. But they were wild and crazy, and their cars had these insane paint jobs on them, and the people who drove them were characters. They were loud. They were, exciting. They were fun people and cars, and that was more interesting to me than most of the Top Fuel and funny car guys, with the exception of like John Force, because he's the man.
Yep, that's fair. That big block Civic was pretty sweet.
Yes, Jeff Lutz Jr.'s car.
Oh, it was a Lutz car.
Yeah, it's Jeff Lutz Jr.'s car.
It's pretty cool.
So it's like I think it's an EF Civic. I think it's just on a tube frame.
Yeah, it's just the body of a Civic.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool though. He's got that thing shoved in there.
Yeah,
and the rear end is almost non-existent as far as width.
Yeah,
because
and he's basically sitting in the back seat.
Yeah, right.
Because the motor takes up most of where your feet should be.
Yep.
That's got to be the weirdest feeling to drive.
It's a street car too. I mean, heavy air quotes.
It's
a drag week. It's a drag week competitor. Let's put it that way.
Oh damn.
So yeah, I think it was hard to get it to like sink in or really spend any time on anything because we were there for such a short period of time.
Nice.
But I think if you went to that if you were a real business owner and you had a mission, like you had a real like, this is what I'm doing here, and I'm going to talk to like these 10 people. And then I'm just going to do my thing. I think you probably get more out of that than like us showing up and we had people we were going to meet with, but we had no clue what we were expecting.
I think year 2 will be better for us.
Yeah, year two will definitely be better because we can kind of plan ahead, figure out what we want to do.
Now we know what we're getting into.
Yes, exactly. And then, the whole time Robbie's basically dying on us on the second day.
I was ready to go home.
Yeah, because there was one point where he just disappeared. And we're we don't know what happened to Robbie.
We decided that Thomas is half ninja.
Yeah, he just turns around.
Yeah, so we found the guys from Quick Trick, and we were going to walk around, and we set off in one direction. I'm like, okay, everybody's moving in this direction. And then Robbie died, so he was gone.
I went and sat at a bench for a while because I thought I was going to faint.
He was laying down on the ground, and then Thomas would somehow get like halfway across the trade show floor, and we three of us were standing there going,
Do you have like some sort of teleportation that we're not aware of?
Just an attention problem.
Sometimes do you sometimes spend some of your time in a different dimension?
No.
Just kind of bounce in and out from place to place?
Yeah, because you'd turn around and look for him, he wouldn't be there. And you'd turn around, he's not over here. And he'd turn back around and he'd be right there. You'd be like, what the fuck? Where did he go?
The whole time I was trying to play catch up with you guys. Like, you were talking about a couple things, and we're like, I don't know what the fuck they're talking about. I didn't see this.
And then he'd go look for it, and then we'd be gone.
I think I know what it is.
What?
He's one of those interdimensional beings that Alex Jones warned us about.
Oh, that's true. That makes a lot of sense.
Is that the dude with the straw?
Yes.
Yes, that's the guy with the crazy filters.
Yeah.
So. But we did discover what our new YouTube series is going to be, or a YouTube series. It's just called Thomas Discovers Everything.
Thomas experiences everything with great joy and excitement.
We've decided that Thomas is too pure for this world, and that he experiences real joy.
Hang out with us.
No. What's that?
We're gonna bring.
No,
we
will eventually destroy.
You know what it is?
Forget.
He's not 28 yet.
Yeah, wait till you're 28.
Wait till you get a little bit older and your taxes go up, and like you start caring about what your lawn looks like,
I
and
hate what my yard looks like.
your joints start aching.
Oh,
That's when it goes downhill.
That's where it starts, Thomas.
But anyways, I think for the YouTube series, it'll be like Idiot Abroad, only complete 180. So instead of him being miserable, it's going to be Thomas.
Have you seen
going,
Idiot
This is
Abroad?
awesome.
He's one of Ricky Gervais' friends, and he hates everything.
Everything.
Like Ricky Gervais pays to fly him to like India and Indonesia and all this Budapest, all these crazy places.
That sounds fun.
Or not, right? Exactly. We could literally do that show over again, but with Thomas, and it would be great, and people would love it because it would be uplifting.
There's so much cool stuff.
Yeah, you could eat this every day.
Yeah, exactly. This is amazing. This is your house?
You
This is crazy.
You sleep here every day.
We got to do
Thomas sees things differently than the rest of us. He sees
okay.
He sees the good side of things.
it. We need more of you.
We need
Tom.
more Thomases in the world.
Yep.
Then I would have a lot more competitors on video. Don't be like me. Tell people to not be like me.
Okay, don't be like Thomas then.
Yeah, don't do it.
Be less happy.
So anyway, what did you guys enjoy most about PRI?
Well, the cars that you didn't mention would be the 2,000 horsepower Ford GT. That was super
nice.
rad.
The middle generation
Yeah, the
one,
05.
2005.
Yeah, 2005. I've always really liked that
That
car.
was 2,000 horsepower?
Yeah. It
Yeah.
just
See,
See, this is what happens when...
Thomas experiences everything. Wow, 2000!
No way.
You gotta be shitting me. This is amazing.
That's a lot.
You own this car?
You're allowed
Get
to?
out of here.
Street horsepower? Really?
Yeah.
It looked like a stock GT4 or GT with 2,000 horsepower. It was nuts. And then the Golf liveried Porsche 917.
I think so.
Was nice.
That was in the golf booth though.
Yeah, buddy.
Adam's favorite booth.
Really
And he missed it.
I know. I had to go show it to
I
Yeah, I
saw
don't know
a picture
how I
on
missed it.
Instagram, and I'm like, dude, how did we not see this car? And I was
'Cause
like,
you
we
guys-
need to go find it
You
now.
guys went left when I went right, and I went and found it.
That was one of the times we lost Robbie.
Oh, he found the golf car.
I went with Robbie.
Yeah, we found it.
Well, yeah, you ninja'd out.
When they went
Just
through
turn
that,
right.
that portal through a different dimension, they got over
Drug Robbie with him.
to the golf
That's what
booth, and we
happened.
went over to.
He was just making
Exiting.
sure I made it home. I'm just wandering
To
aimlessly
be fair,
through this.
Thomas was your caretaker. When you almost died that time, he at least made sure that you got back to the media room.
Well, he was sleeping. I was like, I really have to pee, but I don't want him to wake up and be like, Thomas is gone. What's going on? Where am I? I'm like, I'll just hold it till the rest of the guys get here.
I would have been fine.
I for sure would have left and then forgot that he was there.
Something cool would have caught my eye, and it would have been
Ooh, look at
over.
this.
Well, you guys couldn't have gone too far. I mean, there's 566,000 square feet. I could have found you
He would have found us eventually.
The one thing that really that took me by surprise was the DPI car. The fact that because that was such a tiny little car. It
Yeah.
was very low. It was very small, and somewhere in there they've managed to stuff an LS
The
or an
Cadillac?
LT, I guess.
The Cadillac,
Yes,
the Jeff Gordon one.
yes.
It's very cool.
When you stand there outside, you're looking at it. You're like, man, where do they stuff a V8 in that thing?
And then where do you put a person?
Yeah,
It's very low.
it's
Like,
very
the body
tiny.
of the car is very close to the ground, and then there's some spaces for a person, and then supposedly an engine in there.
Well, then the crazy thing is how perfectly clean that car was. For a car that's been through, how many 24-hour
Hell.
races?
Yeah.
It was in really good shape.
Well, I don't know that it is that car
Oh, I suppose there could be 6 of them.
because
Could be like an NASCAR where there's one that's
that
in
was their
LA
spare,
today.
and they just brought that one in. Yeah.
Yeah, who knows?
But to be polar opposite of that, there was in the Toyo booth there was an R8 LMS that had just come off of the 25 hours at Thunderhill, and I believe won its class. And one of the bumpers was duct taped on one side to the car to hold it in place. It was still covered in mud,
Brake dust.
and brake dust, and you could almost smell it.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
That's what all those race cars should do.
Yeah.
The show cars can be clean, and then the race cars can have their dirt.
That should be what PRI is.
Yeah,
SEMA's a bunch
SEMA's
of
for-
built. That's an image
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
PRI should be real race cars.
And that's why I would rather spend more time at PRI than at SEMA.
The best part was the drift or the drag cars on slicks that had deflated over the weekend.
There were multiple cars
The-
there.
Yeah, there were multiple
With
cars
flat tires.
with flat tires, which was awesome.
Would never fly at SEMA for
No,
sure.
but there everybody could be like, "Oh, this is a real drag car." Like everybody there would get it. Whereas
Yeah.
at SEMA, people would just pass by that crap and be
I
like, "Oh,
had
what
to
the hell
air
is
up.
this?"
I had to put air in my slicks every single week.
Yeah,
That's just the way. That's the nature of the beast. It is what it is.
but that's cool. I mean, real race cars with real race car damage and dirt and debris and tires. That's cool stuff. I like that stuff that's being used.
Would you like, Thomas?
I liked the motorcycle that was in the hallway.
Was that
A Confederate
Confederate?
motorcycle. Yeah. And
You
I
were-
posted on Instagram, and then Confederate liked it. Yes.
You were really into that thing.
It's so cool. I think Brad Pitt has one. But they're like $150,000.
They're that much?
Yeah, it's
Oh, I
stupid.
should have looked at it closer. I didn't realize.
But it was at a
That's handmade, ain't it?
battery booth that was super small. I didn't understand.
Well, they need.
Right next to the electric junior dragster.
I did notice that for a couple seconds. Yeah.
Caught my eye because I did junior dragster things.
That makes sense. That was right next to where Robbie almost fainted.
Yep.
Yeah. That's where I met up with Gil.
Yep. He probably hates me too.
Probably. Everybody's like, why does this guy talk to
What
us?
a jerk.
This guy just stands there with this weird look on his face, and he walked away.
Yeah.
I don't even understand.
Well, then everyone that I shook hands with is probably sick as a dog all week. Like that guy.
Hopefully none of them listen, or they'll put two and two together, and they'll never talk to us
Well,
again.
they were giving me shit on the group, and I'm like, well, it's a lose situation. Either I don't go, and I'm the jerk that didn't go to PRI, or I do go, and then I don't talk to anybody because I don't have a voice, and then I'm a jerk that didn't talk to anybody.
Yep.
Or I do go, and I try to talk to everybody, and then I spit germs at people, and then shake their hands and kiss babies, the whole political thing, and then they get sick because of my germs. So I'm the loser in all of that.
I feel like these things could only happen to Robbie, though. Like, it had to happen to Robbie.
Right?
It always-
it always
Happens to Robbie because
for sure.
the other funny thing about it is that people say Robbie doesn't talk, or that Robbie's not social
Right.
in the group, or like people don't.
By people, we mean Robbie. Robbie says
I
those
say that
things
all the
about
time.
Robbie.
Oh yeah, if I'm
Yeah.
I'm not super comfortable in large groups to begin with, and then you put that on, I'm like, nope, I shouldn't be here.
He's just typecasting.
Everybody hates
That's
me.
all.
But everybody doesn't hate you.
No,
though.
of
That's
course
the thing.
not.
You just got to be more outgoing.
I know, but that's hard. You can't just make somebody be outgoing.
He's being mysterious. That's part
He
of
is
the
being
handsome
slightly
Rob
mysterious. I understand that.
thing. The
You
strong
just-
and silent.
It's
type.
strong and silent. You just stare at them until they talk to you.
That's creepy.
Oh, well, it worked for Ant. He talked to me.
I think because he was nervous and because he didn't know what else to do.
Well, I appreciate that.
Okay.
It made my night easier to listen to stories about Injuku. I really like that.
Okay. Good. Did you see
Shiny.
Shiny.
that? Ant did make a pretty awesome Injuku video that we should share it on the group. It's a parody build video, basically.
It's a whip.
It's a whip.
Whip work in progress.
Is that an Injuku? Is that like a trademark Injuku thing, or does
I don't
other
know.
people
I
use
don't know.
whip?
I think whip might be a thing, but not a very big thing.
Oh, okay. So it's like
I
some
knew what he
deep
meant when he
YouTube
said it,
stuff.
but-
Oh, really? I didn't have a clue what he was talking about.
It took a second to like
Process.
sit there like, oh, whip working.
I got it.
I
I'm
got
with
it.
you.
Now. I'm here.
Yep, I'm good. Did you see the Indian with 2 V-twins in it?
Yes, that was cool.
That was pretty cool. I don't think we got
I
a
forgot
picture
that you're kind of a bike guy, aren't you?
I like motorcycles.
I get it.
Yeah, it's cheaper fun.
I like living though.
Yeah, but yeah, motorcycles still cool.
Yeah,
They are.
I don't disagree. I think motorcycles are cool. They're just not for me.
I don't know how long I'll be riding one. Maybe I'll get into track stuff. I think that'd be safer. You go faster, but you don't crash.
I think
You might
it's
still
sadly
crash.
true.
Yeah.
If you race at the right tracks, there's less stuff for you to run into or get ran over with.
Hmm.
Yeah,
So I agree.
A
And
bike
when-
on the interstate's got to be like the worst thing
I'll
you could
get
do.
terrified.
Don't do that.
And then I end up driving faster to get away from the cars, and I get closer to cars faster, and then
It's a whole
it's a circle,
yeah.
man. It's a vicious circle.
I'd never do it. I would never take a bike on 235.
Oh, hell,
I'm
really?
glad yeah. Have you done it during rush hour?
yeah.
Well, see, the other problem is the guy that did my instruction at DMAC for that, the community college here, he had a really terrible accident on 235.
I didn't have that guy.
Yeah. Oh, did you take it at DMAC too?
Mm-hmm.
He had like a Road King and had to lay it down on 235.
I used to have an appointment in West Des Moines every day after work, and I'd always work super late. And I'm like, oh crap, I gotta leave now. I'm on my bike. It's really windy and it's really cold, but I can make it there if I go really, really fast. And there's no like spots for cops usually to sit, and there's not really. I don't think there's any cameras, so you can go really fast.
There's nowhere to run off, though, on 235.
Why do you need to run off?
If something goes terribly wrong, no, I mean not run away, run off. I mean like
Bail
lay
out.
the bike down, bail out,
You
run
just
off.
Die.
Yep, that's basically it.
You accept your fate.
Yeah.
235 is the interstate that runs through Des Moines, and it's gotten extremely busy with our population.
Wait, is that
growth.
the one that? Oh no, what's the other one?
You went 80.
Yeah,
80
I
is
went
not as bad.
No.
really fast there.
That's the that's the bypass
Yep.
for Des Moines. That one's not nearly as bad because it seems like the traffic on that's a bit better.
It's not really bypass anymore. It's kind of
No,
in the
because
middle too
now
now.
now Des Moines growing north of it, so it's kind of, it's going to be in the middle as well. Going to need a new bypass. But did you see any other interesting bikes there? Because there were not a lot of bikes either.
No, but those are the
more
things.
Bikes than drift cars, though.
You just happened to stop by that, and I could enjoy them. You were talking to stuff I wasn't really
you're
interested
welcome.
in.
See, we were doing that on purpose.
Thanks.
It was for you.
Thank you.
Anything else for anybody?
No, I think that's it. We can move on.
Can't wait for next year.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we'll have a better plan of attack for next year.
We're going to go to a better restaurant.
We're going to go to a better restaurant next year, so we'll have a better fan meet. Everybody likes pizza, except for
I don't like pizza.
him, apparently.
Steak and shake. You know what we should do? It Noodles and Company. There was like 3 people in there.
Yeah, we could have taken over the Noodles and Company. We could have brought like 50 people in there.
I do like that restaurant.
I don't know that I've ever actually eaten at one.
It's good.
Did you get their pad thai?
I do like pad thai.
It's not very good for like a meeting, though.
Whatever.
Extended periods of time.
What are they going to do? Kick us out?
We really need a place that has a bar. I mean, I'm not that guy, but
No, I'm not either, but
I
people
think
are.
Giardino's serves beer at least.
If you're gonna stay, somebody should have some drinks. It makes it more appropriate to stay longer. We'll figure something different out.
plan
That's
it
a
out.
year from now.
There was a
We'll wait
really
until
fancy
a week before to figure that out.
There was like a really fancy steakhouse, like a Rube's or Ruth Chris. Is that what it is?
Not a clue. Is there like a really expensive sushi restaurant? We could do that.
Yes.
Apparently, there's another podcast that frequents a sushi restaurant somewhere in Indianapolis.
Should we move on to the news presented by Petrolbox?
Yes, we should.
Did you have a Petrolbox story?
I do.
What did you do?
I have a Petrolbox thing for this week. So I don't know why, but here lately I've just decided that I'm all about supporting small business. Like,
It's because you're getting old.
Goes
back to that.
But like I made Katie switch her primary pharmacy from a Walgreens to some little bitty one in Nevada.
Okay.
And we try to buy stuff in town if we can and stuff like that. And,
Yep.
And I'm trying to support more small businesses.
You hipster, you.
I'm fine with that.
Okay.
I guess if all the hipster traits I could pick up, that's
Not the worst one.
Certainly not the worst one.
Right.
So this weekend, while we were in Indianapolis, we got to hang out with John and Andrew, who are the owners of Petrolbox.
Yep.
And one of the things I don't know that we've really talked about, these are just 2 guys who are doing that literally in their own garage part-time.
Yeah.
That they are a small business
Yeah.
who is trying to do something big.
Yes.
That's something worth supporting.
That's fair.
You know,
Absolutely it is.
They were genuinely fun to hang out with.
Yes.
It was a great time. They're good people, and they're the type of people that we as a society should be trying to support in their endeavors.
100%.
That's all I got to say about it.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was just 2 dudes till
Yeah.
it became dinner time.
I mean, for what they're doing, it's a major undertaking for such a small group of people.
Yeah, and he said it's growing rapidly. But it's crazy the amount of work that those guys do to send out like almost 800 boxes a month. You know what I mean? And
it's a lot of work.
Collaborate with people and to get good stuff in the box.
Interesting.
Be able to buy enough stuff to make it affordable enough so that they can offer the box for $40 a month and all that. I mean, it's a lot of work. I mean, I think that's what most people aspire to do. Is
I just think it's really cool that they're able to do it.
Yeah.
And they do it really well.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. I think that they do. 10 cents at checkout.
That's my soapbox for this week.
$7 off. You will start in January now, though. Just
Yeah.
FYI.
Yeah.
So for everybody that has supported them, we thank you very, very much. Should we do the
My eyes
news?
are just watering out of nowhere. I don't know what the deal is.
You just crying?
Oh,
Getting a little emotional?
I teared up a little bit.
Getting a little emotional.
It's all right.
That's how important that is.
Sometimes
to
a
me.
man needs to cry.
Small
Just let it
businesses,
out.
Robbie.
He gets
Just cry
really.
it out.
I see that now that Adam has found his passion. It's
Yeah.
supporting small businesses. It's okay.
And you all should too. Anyways, Mercedes was caught dismantling a privately owned rented Tesla Model X.
So basically,
research purposes.
They rented this on what I believe is like the German equivalent of Turo.
That's how I
That's
understood
kind of what it sounded like. Thomas hasn't heard any of this, so you're getting Thomas's fresh takes on everything.
This is awesome.
This is great. How did you figure that out? That's amazing.
I could not get over the fact that Mercedes, with all their reach and power and money and resources, they went and rented a privately owned vehicle
for 7 weeks.
Wait, they take it apart and then put it back together?
They tore it
was
apart.
They dismantled it
for
piece
research
by
and
piece.
development.
Tested it at tracks.
Aren't there like...
Wait,
but you can't race with a rented car.
Yeah, so they violated the...
Well, you're not supposed to tear them apart either.
Well, it may not directly
mean-
say don't disassemble the vehicle and put it back together again.
Yeah.
It does now.
Spirit of the rules, I
Yeah,
guess. Right?
exactly.
But part of the agreement was you weren't going to drive it like on a track or anything like that. And of course, Tesla has the ability to track them.
Yeah.
So they're tracking them as they're testing it. So while they've had it gone for 7 weeks, they drove it way further than they agreed to. They tested it at tracks. They completely disassembled it and reassembled it. Did a bunch of other testing to it. And then when they returned it 7 weeks later, it's destroyed.
There are significant damages done
Oh, they
to
weren't
the vehicle.
sneaky about it.
No.
They didn't put new tires on it and oh yeah, it's fine.
No, like the rear hatch doesn't close because it's bent. And it's significantly damaged because of what they did to somebody's privately owned vehicle.
It's a small business. These people have developed renting Teslas. They have 6 of them or something. They don't have that many of them.
I think it was only 4, yeah.
Was it 4?
It's not
Yeah,
many.
it's a little tiny mom and pop, literally, shop.
Maybe they won't notice.
Apparently not.
It's not Enterprise.
Nope.
Well,
I think what happened here is that Mercedes has been trying to buy one,
and they can't.
and they can't figure out. They've tried. They've sent in. They've used espionage. They've used other people's pseudonyms. Gone into the dealerships. Nope.
Yeah, because you
Start
can
doing a little checking around. Hey, wait a minute. You work for Mercedes?
Yeah, you can only buy Teslas through Tesla. So, I mean, there's no, you're not going to get a new X or Model X from somebody else. You have to go through Tesla.
Yeah, and I think they were at the point where they just didn't care anymore.
Yeah, we'll write it off.
We will pay
figure
you
it out.
whatever. I don't care. I just need it. Thanks.
Well, I think the worst part was that when they gave it back, the insurance didn't pay out. The people that owned the vehicle lost their asses.
Yeah.
Which
It was a
that's the
significant
shitty side
amount
of it.
damage.
It's not uncommon for companies to buy a competitor's car and tear it apart and reverse engineer it.
Yeah.
That's not new.
The really crazy thing is, I guess there's a company that exists to do that, which is cool.
There's multiple companies that do
It's
that.
a cool idea.
Again, those companies also aren't getting approved to buy Tesla Model X's.
Probably
So there
not.
might not be any. There might not be
Information.
any, available yet.
Yep. I agree. I'm sure you're right.
And with Mercedes trying to ramp up their electric cars by 2019, I think they're trying to
They want to dig around a little bit.
get ahead of the game or catch up to the game, I guess would be a better way.
So they say it was 5 figures worth of damage. I don't know if they said specifically how much damage. They're pressing charges for $117,000 in damages.
Yep, for loss of income.
Yep.
That damages to the cars.
Yep.
The whole
Time. Yeah.
Yep.
Just overall damages.
So, sitting here on this couch, certainly do not have the resources that Mercedes-Benz has at hand.
Probably not. No.
Right now, I'm on Autotrader.com. I could buy a Tesla Model X from multiple used car dealerships. Here's one at a Land Rover dealership. Here's one at a Porsche dealership. Here's one at just some random used car dealership. Here's a private sailor.
What year?
2016. I mean, they're Model X's. They're brand new.
Yeah. If they, I suppose that would have been, say, 8 weeks ago. If it's just coming out now is when they started. So, yeah, they probably could have.
So
Bought it here, shipped it over.
They could have bought a used one somewhere, surely.
I would think.
Like somebody bought it and hated it, which sounds weird, but that dealership in Iowa City, when I worked there very briefly, they had a Pilot or something, like full-blown, all the options check Pilot that was like 2 weeks old.
Yeah.
Because the guy bought it and was like, yeah, I don't like it. It's like, okay.
when I was working at the dealership, at GM dealership, we sold Cadillac. Chrysler had just come out with the 300C, the brand new one. It was a very cool car for its time. A whole bunch of people went out and bought it. Literally the first snow of the year, 3 of them came in and left with DHSs because those were front-wheel drive. And the 300Cs were rear. Just old people who were buying luxury cars because that's what that was marketed as.
Yep.
They didn't think to ask that question. And then oh, no, I can't do this.
My Lincoln I traded in is front-wheel drive.
Yeah,
What the heck?
and so they came and bought Cadillacs. That kind of shit happens. I mean,
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it seems really weird because you take a nasty appreciation
those
hit,
are
but
at
still.
those are at one of them's at a Land Rover dealership. That makes sense. That's a That's a
They got a Range
sensible
Rover.
trade-in.
Yep.
A Porsche dealership, they probably bought a Cayenne.
Yep.
There's a Cadillac dealership.
The only thing I could think is that
Those are things that make perfect sense.
this one was maybe brand new, had like 50 miles on it, and they figured that out because I don't think it said specifically.
Yeah.
So possibly because those are 2016s, this was as new as they could find, and so they just rented it. I mean, it's hard to find really a viable excuse.
It's
No,
super
we're
sketchy
definitely-
business
we're grasping
practices.
at it.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not good PR, regardless.
Right.
But they did it. Makes for a funny story.
It does make for a funny
I
story.
feel badly for the people that own it.
It's super fucked up.
Yeah, it is. It's a bad deal when you start messing with somebody's small business.
It is.
I think they assumed that the insurance was going to pay out, and it's taken longer than
because even
expected.
Even like when Jalopnik reached out to like Daimler, it was actually the one that did this. They said that this isn't uncommon, and the insurance always pays out. Like that was
Yeah,
their,
like
that
they
was their
do this
response.
all the time.
We have no comment on this specific rental.
Because we do it all the time.
Yeah,
Basically.
Meaning their insurance or the car owner's insurance?
Probably the rental agency's
yeah.
insurance. What was the name of the rental agency? Did you see?
I can't
It
remember
started
off the
with
top
an
of my
S.
Dude, if I was them, I'd tell Daimler to stuff it. They could pay.
Yeah,
for
I mean,
that.
they violated the terms of the rental.
sure.
So therefore, there's probably a clause in there somewhere that says that they're liable for the damages.
Yeah.
If you take it on a track, you're liable for any damages. Okay, well, you're liable for the whole car then at this point. All whatever it was, 15 or 17 or 20 grand worth of actual damage.
Yeah.
So, sketchy.
Yep.
We'll see how that pans out. What's next?
Aston Martin has posted a profit for the first time since 2010. Now you're a business guy,
Yeah.
Michael. Explain this to me.
So, you can lose money as a business.
Now is this kind of like Casey's, like the company Casey's, like the gas station?
Yeah.
They were a small, like were owned by I can't remember.
Owned by the
details.
family.
Yes,
The
so-
story I understand.
Yeah, so a couple brothers, and they had incredible credit because they had no debt, and
Okay.
then everyone wanted to buy in on it, so they could.
Everybody wanted debt.
Yeah,
but
they wanted to borrow against it.
Yep.
So then they rebuilt all their facilities and then acquired debt, so they weren't people being sought after.
Yep.
Is that kind of the opposite of what's happening with Aston Martin?
No, because that's more your balance sheet. That has to do with your assets versus your liabilities. Accounting is typically accrual accounting.
Okay.
You can ask Jess that when you get home.
Yeah.
It's not cash flow accounting. So, like, if I take in $1,000 and then I pay out $980, cash flow wise, I made $20. But there may be a scenario where I'm trying to think of something that might be easy. Like, let's say right now I take $1,000, but it's $1,000 that is meant to pay for a service that I'm going to render over the next 12 months.
Yep.
And so I've got my $1,000, but I've decided that I'm going to buy a new computer. So I'm going to spend $980 on a computer. Cash flow wise, cash accounting wise, I made $20 this year.
Yes.
Accrual accounting wise, I only get to account, in quotations, I only get to account for a 1/12 of that $1,000 for 2017. So I have whatever that works out to, somebody can do that math. 1,000 divided by 12. I have, as far as my income for 2017, that's all I get to account for.
It's $83.33.
I made $83 this year, but my expenses were $980.
Huh.
I'm not an accountant. Go talk to an accountant about your
I might have to.
personal accounting situation.
It just blows my mind.
So that's a really basic scenario, and an accountant would probably tell you not to expense things out like that. But that would be a scenario where I lost money, but I didn't lose money.
Right.
I still have $20 and a computer.
Well, the other
but
thing
I
is,
lost money.
in this time frame, they've been bought out. They had an investor come in and buy them,
Okay.
and they might be just living on the cash that investor is putting into it.
Yeah, you can lose money. I mean, well, Tesla's never made any money.
That's true.
I mean, you can continue to lose money in theory indefinitely if you can get enough cash injected as an investment. You know what I mean? If you keep having cash come in and you can pay your bills, there's a way in an accounting world, in accrual accounting world, that you can lose money, in quotes again. So
doesn't it really come down to taxable revenue? I lost money in taxable revenue.
There's a lot of scenarios where you may want to lose money. This is why accountants get paid so much money, because there's times when you may want to lose money.
Yeah,
but you may have still taken a salary, or you may still have gotten paid, but your company lost money.
Right.
Quotes again. So, and then you don't pay taxes if you do, but your tax liability is different or less cumbersome if you lose money because you don't pay tax over here, but you might have paid it over here. It's super shifty.
Oh yeah.
This is why seriously accountants go to school for like 5 years, because and then you talk to, I'm just a corporate accountant. I don't know shit about
there's tax, there's
accounting.
audit, there's
I'm an auditor. I don't even bring your personal taxes to me because I don't
it's
even.
It's like
know.
people confusing me for an IT guy.
Yeah.
Yep.
If your internet connection works at your computer, I'm as useless as the next guy.
So to lose money for 6 years is a long time. Well, definitely
that, and they had a loss of $124 million last year.
Yeah,
that's crazy to me.
So that's a big loss, and if
a significant turnaround.
If a company comes in too and says, okay, I'm going to buy part of the equity of the company, and I'm going to give you $150 million, and you only make $100 million that year, but you piss away all that money into some sort of investment, or you figure out some way to expense it, you could have a huge loss.
Yeah,
but that person now owns part of the company, and maybe your loss or your expense turned into an asset, and so the value of the company went up, but you lost a shitload of money because you basically turned that revenue into a giant expense that's an asset.
Building a factory.
Yeah. So that's where it gets really shifty. Especially if people are putting money in, it can really make the books look weird.
Yeah.
But an accountant would say, oh, you lost a bunch of money, but then they go over to your balance sheet and say, oh, okay, your assets and your owner's equity went up. So the value of the company is greater, but the headline is you lost $100 million this year.
Right.
So it's fucking crazy, isn't it?
Gives me a headache just thinking about it.
Shifty. So anyway, but yeah, so I think this is a good thing, and I'm
surprised that they were able to turn that around in such a short period of time, and I would be interested in knowing how.
It sounds to me like when I read it, they had dumped a bunch of money into the DB11 program, and they had dumped a bunch of money into the new Vantage program. And so there's probably your loss, is that they had dumped a whole bunch of money into the R&D
over the last couple of years
of those two cars, and it may have been as long as 2010. I mean, they could have been working on those.
Because they did the Valkyrie?
Yep.
I mean, I'm sure.
Yeah, right.
I don't think they made a shit ton of money on those.
Well, they developed their own engine in that time frame too, and that's incredibly expensive.
What's the RBAS?
Oh, that thing.
That car.
Mm-hmm.
That was the Valkyrie.
No, is it? No, that's two different cars.
I thought there was a different one in there too.
I thought
they did two custom.
I thought the RB001, the car that they were building with Red Bull, is what the Valkyrie became. That's what they ended up calling it. The RB001 was like the.
That's two different cars.
Is it?
Yeah. I think they're two different cars. Robbie's going to look it up. But they had those two custom cars that they developed, and then they obviously had a whole new DB chassis that they built, and then the new Vantage that's coming out, which looks freaking
developed their own
awesome.
motor.
It's fucking sweet. The Vantage is cool.
It is.
I don't know. I'm still out on the DB11. It's striking. I don't know if I love it.
See how it ages.
It may age really well. It wasn't when the DB9 came out. People were like, could you make a better looking car?
Come on now.
Maybe
that looks lazy. But
no, I thought the DB9 when it came out in 2000 whatever.
Oh,
2006.
You're not saying that sarcastically.
No, I'm saying like
okay.
Can you make a more classically beautiful
I think they're
car
fantastic
than that? I don't know that you can in a GT car.
There's not a lot of cars that Aston Martin has made that I'm not into.
I agree.
They're one of those companies that's done very well from A to B, like across the board.
He is right that the AM RB001 is the Valkyrie, but what's the one with the weird taillights?
Maybe that's
the
what
Vulcan.
I'm thinking of.
The Vulcan. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
The Vulcan.
Okay.
I was thinking the Vulcan
Dude,
and the Valkyrie.
They made
You're right.
The Vulcan for
the
sure.
Vulcan. The Vulcan was the one that was in the Grand Tour.
Yeah, the two.
Yes.
Yeah, that was
Okay,
$2 million.
I was thinking
Yes.
that was the Valkyrie.
Sorry.
That makes plenty of sense. That makes sense.
I didn't realize they were both V words, and it confused me.
The Vulcan, I'll bet you they made money on. just because of all
They could charge whatever they wanted.
Well, that and how many cars you had to buy in order to buy it.
Oh, that's right. Forgot about that.
Yeah.
So, I think the future for Aston Martin is very bright.
Well, they've only made 24 of them.
24
Vulcans?
what?
Vulcans.
Yeah, but when you sell them for 1.2 million,
2 millions, I think.
2 million?
I think so.
Multiples of millions for.
And they're not street legal,
No,
right?
they're not. Not from Aston Martin. You could send them somewhere else and have them converted to street use.
It's
and
2.3 million.
Jesus.
plus dealer markup.
Plus dealer markup.
That's
And the street legal conversion. It's only money. Can't take it with you.
Yep.
So it'd be interesting to see.
I don't think that. I think that's a drop in the hat for the Valkyrie.
Really?
Well, yeah, because that's even more ridiculous.
Yeah.
So that's
how much
probably
was
pushing.
that?
That's probably into the threes.
It's crazy. Are you looking
I
that
don't think
up?
that's even announced yet. It's not out.
Oh, the pricing's not announced?
They're all sold.
I was going to say they're all sold. They were
It
$5
doesn't
million
matter.
a piece, but
Yeah.
the rest of us don't get to know that yet.
3.2 million.
Oh.
That's got to be
I think
pushing
it's-
like most expensive car you can buy at this point. Isn't it?
Well, they're going to make 150 of those.
Really?
Can you believe they can sell
Holy
that?
shit.
I don't know how many years it's going to take to get there, but they're going to make 150 of them.
But they had them all sold before they even.
Are they all sold?
Yeah, they. I think when we talked about them, a year ago, they said nobody even knew what it was going to look like yet, but they had them all sold. All the spots had been spoken for.
You're right. They did sell out December 7,
Jesus.
2016, a year ago.
That's a good way to make $500 million very quickly.
Yep.
Yeah, and they're not selling those to people who don't already own Aston Martins.
Right. You got to own 6 Aston Martins that you bought brand new.
Yeah,
In the last 10 years.
Fleet, you
Yep.
know. Your butler drives his Aston Martin home every day type shit.
Yeah.
Wow. Anyways.
Most of them are probably going to Dubai and China.
I just
I
thought
had to
that
guess.
was the new normal.
Dubai and China?
Yeah.
Yeah,
think it- what-
absolutely.
What were we talking about? You said something about somebody was talking about in their marketing that it works well in the sand or something like
Yeah,
that.
the new Lamborghini.
The new Lamborghini SUV.
the Aztec.
Specific. Yes.
Yes, the Lamborghini Aztec.
Yeah, yeah.
It's specifically designed to work well in the sand. They have like sand crawl mode or some stupid
Yeah.
shit.
Yep. Who does that appeal to?
Yeah.
You know who.
We're not the market anymore, Robbie.
No.
The U.S. is a drop in the bucket. They're well established here. They have other places to go with more money.
Well, we'll still buy them.
Yeah, absolutely. But if they make stupid stuff like Valkyries, they don't
Right.
sell as many of them here, or at least
Right.
not per capita.
Right.
A higher percentage of people will buy them over there than they do here.
Right.
Understandable. I see what they're doing.
We sent a lot of parts out to Dubai.
Really?
Just
You
people modify. Yeah, people buy them all the time. Lots and lots of money.
Do you think they have less rules on modification there, or laws?
I don't know that they have
No
any
idea.
really.
Perfect. That's a great place to sell parts then.
Well, so this is a fairly old statistic, but I know at one point greater than 50% of all GTRs ever sold ended up in Dubai. And what I had read was that an overwhelming majority of those cars had been heavily modified immediately thereafter.
Makes sense.
When I was running the Snapchat, when I was doing that pretty heavily, we got a lot of Snapchats back, and I watched, I think, probably all of them. And a lot of it was people in the sand ripping around in 8.6s with their long white attire.
In the that's weird.
Well, there was sand
In the
and then there
desert
was
or
Oh,
road.
yeah,
right, but
yeah,
they're
yeah,
like
yeah.
on a road.
Yeah.
Okay.
But in the middle of nowhere, basically. Of course, in the middle of nowhere, Dubai is like a block.
Yeah.
You're in Dubai and then you're not in Dubai.
Yeah.
But then I have no idea what they're saying, and then their text is not in English, and I'm like, thumbs up!
Yeah. Trying to be supportive.
That's really like
Buy my parts.
Yep.
That's cool. I hadn't thought about that. It's a cool thought, though.
All right.
Anyway, what's next?
Formula One has half as many passes this season as they did in 2016.
Exciting racing.
Yeah, when the cars are wider and the tracks are not wider, what do you expect?
And the closer you are to each other, the slower your car becomes.
No, that's not true.
Because they're so aero dependent that being in the dirty air off of a car in front of you makes you slower.
Hence the DRS.
Right, yeah. That's what they try to do. but
You have to get there first.
you got to be within a half a second.
Yeah.
And it's hard to be there because of so much dirty air coming off those cars.
So 435 passes over 20 races.
Yep.
It's not that many.
No,
20 passes a race.
That's not many.
25 passes a race.
Yeah.
Versus 866 over 21 last year. So that's a significant difference.
I assume this doesn't count like I pulled into the pit and got passed 3 times.
They have to be race passes.
Yeah,
like if
that's what I'm
someone's
assuming
wheel
that
falls
number is.
off or something and then you pass them, that doesn't count.
Right.
Oh, so even yellow flag passes,
Yeah.
stuff like that.
don't
No,
count.
okay.
Yeah, because like
Full bore racing passes.
I think it was Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen, I think, only got passed twice.
Only got passed twice?
The whole season.
Jeez. That's insane.
Yeah, that's the two.
That's amazing.
But like, I mean, I've been saying it before, like too, that Monaco, those cars are way too big to be racing there at all. I mean, it's literally just a single file race until somebody crashes, and then they change the order, and it's a single file race until the end. It's not fun to watch. I'd be all for like just making the cars like 2/3 scale.
So, since I don't watch this very often, obviously the cars are wider than last year. Which part of the car is wider? The whole thing?
The whole thing.
The whole wheelbase
The whole
is
damn
wider
thing.
on the car.
Yeah.
Do we know how much wider they are?
I don't have it off the top of my head.
Okay.
Yeah. They're using like wider tires. I mean, the whole thing is wider. Every little piece of it.
So yeah, really the only way to fix that then is to, like Robbie said, you need a 2/3 scale car. I was thinking if it was an aero specific, could we make a modification?
This is not something that you think I would ever say,
Yeah.
but I think at a professional level racing, prototype and open wheel cars specifically need to be cut in downforce.
Less downforce?
Significantly. Like 50%. Because those cars have such aero sensitivity that they can't be that close to each other or they'll lose lateral grip. They can't turn a corner as quickly if you're within a half a second of the guy in front of you.
Yeah.
And so you back up to try and make those lap times. It makes passing more difficult. It makes close racing more difficult. And those are the things that people want to see. I want to see you being real close to each other, and I want to see you passing. Those are the two things I need in racing to be exciting. Lap times, in my opinion, in wheel-to-wheel racing, lap times don't matter.
Yeah, see, it's the struggle between having more aero and less power using less gas or fuel. Mm-hmm. Because back in the day, they were using big V12s. You could overpower it, and you wouldn't need to rely on aero as much. Whereas now it's the complete opposite because they're trying to conserve fuel. And then, just for reference, just on the tires, the rear width went from 325 millimeters to 405.
Jeez!
And then the fronts went from 245 to 305s. So I mean, that's just on the tires that they went that much wider.
Anything to do with the car? That's amazing. That's a huge difference over 1 year.
The overall width of the car is 1,800 millimeters to 2,000 millimeters, so it went another 200 millimeters wider.
Wow.
Which doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're talking about race cars, it's a big freaking deal.
But if they cut back on aero packages, that would you could narrow the car up. If you don't have as much downforce, the thing you're going to have to start focusing on then is reducing drag to increase straightaway speeds. Because cornering speeds don't become as important anymore. And the best way to reduce drag is to narrow the car up, make it smaller.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd rather see a more competitive racing. I'd rather see smaller cars.
Yeah.
A car that you could go at least 2 wide down in Monaco. I mean, I feel like that's not too much to ask.
Yeah, maybe that's just what they need to write into their rules for whenever they reset them. Because next year, so really don't watch Formula One. Next year, what are the cars going to look like?
I don't think there's any significant change.
Not like there was to 2017.
Okay.
The tires are different, but
potentially
I think
maybe
they just
the year
added
after.
a new compound.
Softer, I think, is what they're doing.
So potentially the year after next, or maybe the year after that.
They have a year set already, and I want to say it's 2021 when there's a new motor.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, okay. So but at that time they should redesign the chassis.
Most of the time they have to. Because
to accommodate the motor.
Because it's probably a change in form factor.
It's probably like a 2-cylinder diesel or something.
Well, and those motors, most of the time in cars like that, they're probably some sort of load-bearing structure.
Oh, sure.
Stuff like that. The car is built around the motor.
Yes.
So at that point, they could narrow it then.
Yeah.
Or maybe
absolutely.
they can't. Maybe those rules are already set, and the guys are already designing them, and so they can't make that change. But
there's a good point, or a good possibility that that's the case, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, bigger is not better in my eyes when it comes to racing. Like having a bunch of these really big cars next to each other, and you need to have a bigger track to accommodate it, and the tracks just aren't there.
Well, having a 400 millimeter tire is absolutely insane.
That's huge.
If you're going to have tires like that, you don't need the downforce, when you have that kind of mechanical grip, let's pick one or the other, I guess. And I'd much rather have the mechanical grip in wheel-to-wheel racing. It's much more exciting.
Yeah. Thomas, do you watch racing?
Nope.
You're like me then. You don't have a clue what's going on.
Mm-mm.
Even in the time we have done this podcast, I have watched significantly less racing.
I still watch I try to watch Formula One every chance I get. Like if towards the end of the season I started to taper off. I mean, it's middle of summer or early fall. Plus I was going to school. So I just had other stuff to be doing.
Yeah.
Well, like 3 or 4 years ago, I watched damn near all of the 24 hours of Le Mans. And I watched... Huh?
Not one sitting.
I had it on. I was around the house, but I had it on the whole time.
I remember that.
And there were even points in time, I don't remember, I think it was probably 4 years ago, where I woke up, got out of bed, and went and checked it. And I had it all recorded so I could go back and watch some parts that I wanted to see that I had missed. Like, I ate, slept, and breathed prototype racing, and now I don't really care. It's just not that interesting.
Well, that seems like the manufacturers are the same way too, though. In that,
well, but that's because the manufacturers are backing out because the people are losing interest.
Yeah.
And the people are losing interest because it's not exciting. It's not interesting to watch anymore.
I just want to see a bunch of people battle it out on the track. I mean, is that too much to ask?
And it's supposed to be about the driver,
Yeah.
That's why NASCAR works.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's all about the drivers and excitement.
Yeah.
As much as we make fun
Those cars are inches or less away from each other. There's lots of passing. They're doing 200 miles an hour. They're 3, 4, 5 wide through corners and straightaways. It's exciting.
Guess what they have?
Fans. Money.
Well, money,
sponsors.
yeah, for sure. But little downforce.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they fight back and forth about having high downforce packages versus low downforce packages.
Yeah. So you've never watched? Have you ever watched really any racing, Thomas? Has there been
I
anything?
live stream drifting.
You do live stream? Why do you?
Because I'm at work and it's exciting.
Oh, you watch it while you're at work.
Yeah.
Would you watch it at home?
Nope. I don't watch television at home.
At home, anyway. I'm trying to get to the point of why people don't watch racing.
It's not on my phone.
Okay, so if there was better access to it, you would watch it.
Yes.
Do you think if you could pull up the 24 hours of Daytona on your phone, if you're just, Daytona's on, and you could pull it up on your phone, do you think you'd watch part of it?
Maybe.
There is a 24 Hours of Le Mans app that has live stream feeds and live timing and all that stuff. You could even go and watch in cars or some, I think they try to have at least 1 or 2 cars from every class that has a live camera in the car. There's live timing. I think there's highlight reels, stuff like that.
Is that interesting to you, though?
What kind of racing is this?
Exactly.
Anything.
Yeah, I think that probably summed it up.
I think that sums
that
it
was
up
the
right
answer.
there.
That was the correct answer I was looking for. There is some sort of odd disconnect with other types of racing, and it may actually be star power. Because when you watch drifting, do you watch it for
the people?
You watch it for the people. Okay.
I don't know any, it's the same as football to me. I don't know any of the players. I kind of know what they're doing.
For racing, you're talking about?
Yeah.
For regular racing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know the drifters' names.
Yep.
You watch it because you're going to watch Ryan Turek or whoever in this round, and so you watch it.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably why drag racing works, too. Talked about that before, because it's...
Those guys...
The Street Outlaws guys are... It's,
In a drag racing event, you could go into the pits, and you can stand 3 foot away from that race car when they fire it up to make sure it runs. And the whole time that they're tearing those motors down... the whole time they're tearing those motors down, the racer, the driver, is standing behind the car signing autographs. You can shake his hand. He'll take a picture with you. He's standing right there. Lewis Hamilton gets out of his car, and there's a crowd of security around him, and he ushers him off to this limousine that takes him to his private jet that flies him to his private beach in Kokomo or whatever the hell he's doing, you know?
Grid life got me hooked on drifting because you get to like hang out with the drifters.
Yeah, that's the thing, the fan experience, the fan interaction that lots of professional racing, Formula One, LMP1, sports car racing, all that stuff, they don't have it.
Yeah. Yeah, even NASCAR.
Drag racing does. NASCAR does.
NASCAR has that whole like
better.
fan thing that's like the day before where like people just come in and they sign autographs, and if you pay them a stupid amount of money, they will take you out in a car on the track.
From what I've seen, the Formula One guys, a lot of those drivers see that as an annoyance and they hate doing it.
Yeah.
And even if they do it, it comes across that you're not enjoying yourself, that you don't want to be there, and that's not good.
Yeah. You're a celebrity. I mean, you're a personality. That's what makes it work. I don't know of anything like that with prototype racing. But I guess the culture of prototype racing has been different, though. It's literally called prototype racing. So it's like we're going to build a prototype, and then we're going to go race it, and we're going to see what happens. And
most of the guys that are racing prototype cars are, you know, retired Formula One drivers, retired IndyCar drivers. You know, they have the star power, but nobody knows that they went there, because it seems to me like the manufacturers that are building those cars, they don't lean on the fan base that those drivers have developed through the years of racing that they have. Nobody knows who's in those cars.
Yeah. I feel like in the past, Audi has used that as just a marketing exercise, though.
But they market it poorly.
They do, but they do the race, and then they have their photographer take a whole bunch of pictures, and then they put them up at the Audi dealerships, and they're like, "Look at what we did."
So, like, GM does all that racing. Have you ever once seen any of it being used marketing outside of a racing function?
No, I don't think so.
Why? They have these stupid commercials that everybody's making fun of when they could be putting those DPI cars or the C7Rs and these exciting race cars on their TV commercials.
Right.
Make interesting commercials. You don't have to be a car person to appreciate those things.
Well, even at PRI, Pirelli World Challenge, debuted that new Corvette. No coverage at all. Like, did you see it?
No, I never saw it.
Exactly.
Thomas's mic is on the fritz.
Hello.
There you go.
Hey.
There.
What'd you say, Thomas?
There's a new Corvette.
Yeah, there you go.
Exactly.
That's
like the Pirelli World Challenge booth had it, and they waited to unveil it, and there was like a very small crowd that's sitting around it. And just,
it's the new GT3 race car.
Yep.
Was that next to the Ferrari that was red?
No.
Had a bunch of stickers and carbon fiber?
No. But yeah, I saw the car because, you know, a friend of mine posted it, but I didn't see the car, and I was there.
So I walked past it, and there was like a few blocks down from the Vibrant booth. I think it was because that big Street Outlaws thing was like another thing over.
I didn't notice the Street Outlaw things. I just noticed a crowd of people over a car that looked
the crowd was looking at the broken car, and everyone was ignoring the brand new Corvette that's being debuted at the Pirelli World Challenge.
Here's another problem. It's not even on Chevrolet Performance's Instagram.
Right.
Exactly.
The Copo is.
It's like they throw all
that. They
that.
can sell you one of those.
They throw all that. They throw all this money at racing, but then they don't do anything with it.
Bro, you can get a big brake kit for your 07 through 13 Silverado, though.
Cool story, bro.
That's on their Instagram. There's an unveiling of SEMA, of course.
A wide-body carbon fiber Corvette is not worthy of your Instagram?
It's not worthy of coverage, apparently, even though you've dumped a bunch of money into it. Yeah, it's a bizarre one. Chevy's really bad at marketing, though. They're like one of the worst companies for marketing.
They should hire young millennials to
No,
their
they
Instagram.
shouldn't, Thomas. We discovered that they should not. Chrysler tried that and it failed.
That apparently will put...
We'll all drive around in autonomous toasters.
Yeah, autonomous toasters that have message boards that you can write.
Or the doors will make different colors so you can tell people...
Mood rings.
Stuff.
They should hire Thomas to manage their Instagram then.
They should hire Thomas to manage their Instagram, and they should just hire me to just screen ads. Send me an ad? No.
Tell you what, you don't even.
We haven't had any advertising this year. Yeah, it's because it's all been fucking terrible. Give me a good idea.
It doesn't. I don't even need a lot of money.
No,
I'm just here to help you, frankly.
Right. My point is, any money that I would make surely could be made up for in lack of brand damage. You know what I mean? Because basically, Chrysler, well, not Chrysler, Chrysler's pretty good, but GM just continues to damage themselves repeatedly. And Mach makes fun of them on the internet, and they just keep making videos for him. They're keeping Mach employed right now.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, we did pick up a bunch of
I tried to pick up
from
anything and everything
PRI.
that people were giving away.
We're going to figure out how to give it away. We're not really sure how we're going to do it yet. We've got keychains and T-shirts and a few other things, and we'll try to split some of it up because I'm sure like you don't want 3 assorted sized T-shirts. That doesn't really do anybody any good. So we'll split some of it up. We'll try to do some giveaways. Just pay attention to our social media. We'll give that stuff away. Maybe we'll do Instagram or something.
Are you giving away your access credentials?
No. That's
just sitting there.
Yeah, I'll give that away.
Sign it.
Yeah,
Send it.
I'll sign Adam's and then give it away.
Nobody wants yours, so you just hang on to that after your attitude this weekend.
Mine's hanging in the shop.
Yours is diseased.
Yep, yours is diseased and has a bad attitude.
I don't care. Fuck him.
Sign it and send it to Kevin Lawrence.
It said, I'm sorry, signed Robbie.
Can we still be friends?
Can we still be friends?
You can text me too. It's not all about Michael.
I felt so bad because the next day I felt like Robbie was really heartbroken.
Yeah, I was.
Like he just wanted to have fun this weekend and hang out with the Injuku guys, and it just didn't work out at all.
Kevin Lawrence is texting Michael in the morning. What the fuck is this shit? It's a picture of snow.
Snowing, yeah, because he's from Florida.
No one's texting me.
Robbie's not in on the joke.
Yep.
Robbie gets disappointed because he doesn't.
I'm not good at
his interaction is less than with Adam and I.
It's true.
I handed him my phone after I'd been driving for 2 hours. I must have had 40 notifications. And I have stuff shut off. I have car throttle shut off. I have Instagram turned off. And it was just like,
yeah, he's like, look at how popular.
Like, look at all this shit.
And I showed him. I was like,
he literally pulled his phone out and it showed me the weather.
I swear to God, there's nothing on it. Nothing.
What's that song? All by myself. That's Robbie.
Yeah. You guys want to wrap this up with one more racing story?
Sure.
K-Pax is dropping McLaren to race Bentley GT3s in 2018.
I love the Bentley race car.
It's so big.
It is very large.
Speaking of things that need to be downsized,
Bentleys.
But I love it.
It's a cool thing. I'm really surprised that Bentley has a race program.
It seems like a really massive waste of time. I feel like this was like, Bentley was like, we've got a lot of cash that we need to write off.
Let's make a race team.
But we need to do something that like makes sense for an automotive brand. Racing hemorrhages a lot of money. Let's do that.
Bentley has surely they have computers at Bentley. I mean, I know they're pretty old school, but they're CAD designed cars, right? Don't you think somebody could just go in there and hit scale 3/4 and they could shoot out a Bentley car that's a little smaller?
Yep, that's what stuck out to me the most of this whole story. Like, I don't know. I know K-Pax is like super successful with McLaren.
Yeah, they did very well with their
Porsche. And anyways, but the Bentley GT3 car weighs 2,100 pounds.
It's heavy,
which is not a lot.
No.
Then you compare it to their Continental GT.
Is it that one?
Yeah.
Is that the race car?
Thomas found a picture.
Yeah.
You guys kept saying it was big. I wanted to see how big it was.
But then you compare it to the Continental GT street car.
Yep.
It weighs anywhere between 5,000 and 5,500 pounds. That's not even the same car.
Maybe it is 3/4 scale.
It has to be.
Made out of carbon fiber instead of steel.
But at the same time, Bentley's doing it right because their 2,100 pound race car looks just like their 5,000 pound monster.
And it's super cool.
It's kind of cool.
It's one of my favorite cars on the grid.
I do like it. They look big on the grid too.
They do.
A big thing.
It's got a presence.
It does. It's old school. It's like using a hammer when you could use a knife or something. You know what I mean?
But it's kind of, it works really well for them to be the big car on the grid. Because there's all these other low, sleek, mid-engine McLarens and Ferraris and NSXs.
There's a Bentley.
And then there's a Bentley. And it's big, and it's bold, and it's in your face, and people take notice.
Yeah.
And don't go buy Bentleys. But that's not the point.
They probably don't go buy Bentleys. But again, they can use that GT3 car in the dealership, and it's a race car. You're buying a race car with seats, and people are like, wow, it's amazing, I'll buy it.
Well, let's be real here. The entry-level, quote-unquote, entry-level Bentley that car is based on is not exactly like the luxury car you think of when you think of Bentley.
No, it's there.
It's not a Mulsanne.
No. But I think of Bentley, I think of the GT, though.
But we're the minority for thinking that.
I don't know about.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's the car you picture, but I also don't think that when you picture it being like some 700 horsepower twin turbo W12 monster that they really truly are.
No, probably not. For me, Bentley's one of the few true luxury GT cars. That's Bentley to me.
Yes.
Meaning, like the actual, I'm going to drive across the country way too fast.
Oh yeah.
And I'm very rich, and I want to be very comfortable. That's a true GT car, and I feel like Bentley's one of the last companies that does that. Maybe Aston Martin, maybe. Everybody's complained about suspension in those lately.
I don't know that.
So,
because a Bentley's quite a bit bigger car.
Yeah,
they've got a back seat and stuff like that.
That DB11 though, when I experienced that at the Chicago Auto Show, that thing is long.
Is
it? Just never stops. Yeah,
but does it have a back seat even?
I think the 11 does. Yeah, or no, maybe it doesn't.
Is it like a back seat, like a 911 has a back seat?
I can't remember. I have to look it up. Had a very shiny dash. I was distracted by that. Shiny, indeed, very shiny.
You know how much fun it would be to take Thomas to the Chicago Auto Show?
I think it would. I got really stressed out at SEMA. I couldn't look at things. I looked a lot at the floor.
This is 1.1 million square feet.
It's way
Chicago
smaller.
Auto Show, but it's really spread out though, because the companies they'll rent a booth, and then they kind of like spread their stuff out, and they make displays and stuff. So it's and then they give you espresso, and it works out good. Yeah.
Well, now he's in.
But like Mercedes had a like an incline that you got to ride in a truck, and it would climb up and back down.
It was something stupid like 40
you
degrees.
You got to ride in a truck in a
G-Wagon.
Yeah, so they put us in the
G-Wagon.
G-Wagon. I was in the front passenger seat. They went up this incline that was over 30 degrees.
That's cool.
And then it would get on a teeter-totter thing basically, and it would, as soon as the weight crested the center point, it would tip forward and slam down basically, and then you drive back down it.
It was a quote pro driver in the driver's seat.
It was pretty sweet.
But then like Dodge had a burnout
inside
box.
Yeah.
You can do this?
They had like launched the car.
Yeah. Dodge does whatever they want, I guess. But yeah, they had that, and then they had the Jeep thing. The Jeep thing wasn't as cool because the one in the G-Wagon was so stupid steep. The Jeep one's way bigger though. It's like a course that has 5 Jeeps on it maybe at the same time. They're kind of spread out.
Miss this show?
What's that?
Is it done?
No, it's in February.
Can we go?
We can go.
Is it hard to get media passes?
We might have to go separately from Michael.
You guys may have to apply for different media passes.
No, I'll be there.
I don't know. We could probably figure something out.
Wait, did you get special media passes?
No, he blows it out when he goes to the
we go and
it's been like a long running thing for
tradition
him and his other
with
friends
Scott
that
and
we're
Bill.
not allowed to be associated with.
We go and we spend
It's like a Vegas trip, except without the gambling.
Copious money on food and drinks. That's basically what we do. So we go. We'll do a little brewery tour because Scott manages the brewery in Boone. So we go to different breweries, and then we usually go to a place called Hop Leaf, which it's not that expensive, but we order everything on the menu and drink too much. And
I like beer. Can I write this off as a business expense?
I'm sure you can.
Absolutely.
Expensive. I'm not an accountant, as I stated before, but sure, if you need my permission, why not?
Cool.
But so yeah, it's way different than PRI, where you don't have guys in a little 10x10 booth. Everything is square foot. One car company may have 20,000 square feet. You know what I mean? 30,000 square feet.
Is everybody drinking Coors Light?
No. I don't think you can drink inside.
There's lots of coffee and espresso being
You can have
served.
espresso,
water,
snacks, things of that nature.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
You can go and listen to really boring car executives talk about the future of automotive.
Yeah.
He'd be really disappointed by
Well,
it.
Giles isn't boring. I felt like he was putting on the brave company face.
Maybe Dan the Man.
Dan the Man was pretty cool.
He was pretty cool, but
Didn't
then
care
the
about
rest
your
of them
shit.
are real buzzkills. Like the new Ford CEO, I don't want to hear him talk.
He's just going to talk about how everything is similar to selling desks,
Should be electric.
and he's wrong.
So just go for the shiny in the cars.
Go for the shiny. Go for the food. Go for some of the exhibits and things like that.
There's no businessy stuff going on.
No, because there's supposed to be media. It's just supposed to be taking. It's easy to take pictures because there's only, you're in 1 million square feet and there's only like 2,500 people in there.
Oh,
Yeah, so you can shoot pictures and video and do all kinds of stuff.
You can get in and out of the cars and all that
Yeah,
stuff
you can get
too.
into any cars. They'll bring in. They had like Bentleys. They had that DB11. They'll
You
have.
get in it?
Yeah. Yep.
Most of them.
Yep. I think everything was open. We were there. It was weird though because this is the first time we had gone as media, so there's just like an Aventador sitting there, and you're like, "Can I touch this? Is this cool?" Yeah, it's a different experience. Anyway, Bentleys. Is that it?
That's it.
I don't
Cool.
really have a lot to say.
Thanks,
Best of
Thomas.
luck to him, I guess.
Thanks, Thomas. Did you have fun at least?
Yeah, it was really fun.
It was crazy.
It was cool talking to Kevin Lawrence. I think that was my highlight when you guys were talking about highlights. Yeah.
Yeah, because you hadn't had any interaction with him other than him being on the show.
Nope.
You hadn't met him or anything. Not
Him
that I had met him. But...
And Riley Sexsmith, two drifters I've talked to.
Oh yeah, you've hung out with Riley Sexsmith, kind of.
Well, I bumped into him at SEMA, and then he knew who I was, and he thought I was slightly cooler, I think.
Why?
Not that he
Think
didn't.
you were a square or something?
He was like, "Oh, that's just this kid with a GoPro. He wants to shoot video of my car." He was super nice about it, and I did. And then I sent it to him, and I don't think he's figured out a way to download my videos. So I got to find a new way to. I saw some cool videos. They're on my Instagram, but they're not on his Instagram.
Oh, because you just showed up and said, "I'm going to stick this GoPro on your."
Yeah, I messaged
On your
him a
drift
week
stick.
before Grid Life, and he's like, "Yeah, sure, do whatever you want. I don't care." And then he saw my Instagram. He's like, "Oh, you do videos. You're probably more popular than I am." And I was like, "No, no."
It's big on YouTube though.
This was the first time I've hung out with you, and you didn't get recognized.
Yeah, well, because there was a bunch of drag racers.
That's true. That's true.
It wasn't his market. I'm sure he was hugely popular at SEMA.
But
He's just not
you're
telling
way
us.
more famous than we are.
I don't know. I mean, maybe.
He's famous in a niche market,
Yeah,
right? I mean,
people who drive Subarus and are not very old.
do you get Subaru crossover?
Yeah,
Do you?
because I'm in Subi Speed videos every once in a while.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So those people see it too.
it's fine not getting recognized. It's cool, but it's also really cool getting recognized. But most of the times I've been recognized, I've been around you guys, so it seems like a lot.
See, he plays it off like
I know. It's like he's not
Like,
getting recognized.
I've only
all
been
the time.
recognized
Like, he
like
gets-
once or
He
twice.
goes to the grocery
Yeah,
store. He gets
exactly.
mobbed. You know,
Yeah.
I'm just.
I
Trying,
know the real.
I'm just on vacation with my girlfriend. I'm trying to relax, and then he's getting mobbed again, and it's just No, I get it.
Maybe one day.
Anyway,
Yep.
is that it?
That's all I got.
Catch you guys next week.